flown into the country. Now, these are people that are here, in quotes, legally by executive action. And again, we come back to this tension that the other side wants to shame us with all the time, be it illegal immigrants or people brought in under these programs. Well, isn't America the beacon of hope? Don't you believe in that? When we counter, these aren't coming to your communities. You are overwhelming people, and there's no vetting process. We're told we don't get America. So listen to this with Malugian, lay this out, and what Trump says he would do very early on.
Republicans have been railing about these two controversial Biden administration programs, which have been allowing up to 80,000 migrants to come into the U.S. every single month. Those two programs, we've been talking about them, the CBP cell phone app, the CBP One cell phone app, and the CHNV Migrant Flights Parole Program, which combined together in less than 2 years have already allowed more than 1.3 million migrants into the U.S. through humanitarian parole grants. Now, in a phone call with me, former President Trump told me if he's elected, he will end both of those programs immediately. And on top of that, will revoke parole grants for any migrants who already came in via the programs. Take a listen.
I would revoke it and they get out. And the app is bad. But what the worst is the flights. Because, you know, they tried to say, oh, we're going to toughen up the border a little bit. They had planes flying over the border loaded up with illegal migrants, people that shouldn't be in our country, going to the Midwest, going to all places, because everything is now a border state.
What's your message to those 1.3 million who have been paroled in the country and are expecting to stay here?
Get ready to leave, especially quickly if they're criminals. Get ready to leave because you're going to be going out real fast.
All right, so that's Trump. The other side, of course, saying, well, yeah, how are you going to deport all these people? You know, their goal is they brought them in 80,000 a month. And these are quasi-legal or legal is the argument. Good job by Malugian. They're hiding the numbers or hiding how they're getting here, the whole deal. Then suddenly, various towns across America are overwhelmed. And people that are progressive towns that have more influence and more money, they don't get overwhelmed with this. They don't have to put up with this. How could we possibly absorb all that? All right, now President Biden, since he's in New York for the UN, was on The View, and they had all 6 members of The View. It was a giant, I don't know the word, made the table, 7 people at the table. And rather than saying, look, we don't want Trump to be assassinated, that'd be bad for the country, they doubled down on the same thing with Biden saying, well, Trump doesn't understand or believe in democracy. Here's that.
Look, when I ran, I said I was running. One of the first major speeches I made was for Independence Hall about democracy. That democracy was at stake.
And to restore the soul of this country.
Yes.
The soul.
I ran for 3 reasons. I said I wanted to restore the soul of the country, meaning a sense of decency and honor.
Decency, right.
Secondly, I wanted to make the middle class grow, because when it grows, everybody does well. And thirdly, I wanted to bring the country back together. And I was told we couldn't do any of those things. But we've gotten a lot of them done. And look, Trump is...
Careful.
There's not a lot of social redeeming value there.
No, you think right.
But here's the thing. He really does not believe in democracy and the guardrails that our system is set up for the abuse of power. And you look at what he does and what he says, and look what he did.
Yes,
look what he did
on January 6th.
And not on just January 6th was absolutely bizarre.
Yeah,
bizarre. I was, on January 6th.
That's enough rambling. Thanks, Henry. Okay, so we're being lectured to by the likes of the Biden family. Maybe they should have Hunter Biden take out some coke and snort it there, then give us his estimation of the Trump years. And we're being told about shame and no redeeming value by the ladies of The View. All right, now, what Kamala Harris is up to today, she's got an interview with Stephanie Ruhle. I watch Bill Maher pretty faithfully, and even though, we have big difference there around Trump, it's one of the better shows, and he had Stephanie Ruhle on, who as a person in the media, was defending the idea constantly that Kamala Harris, why should she give interviews? Why would that be necessary? And she's in the media. She got the interview today. So tonight she'll be on with Stephanie Ruhle in a non-interview interview. Why does Stephanie Ruhle want to do an interview with Kamala Harris when we're told that no interviews are necessary? Why would we have to do this?
It's like, what do they say? Like, if you want to rule, you're not fit to rule. You don't want to interview her. You should interview her.
Well, Henry, I hear this all the time, and I heard it again today. I'm not saying any names because I'm friends with the guys at WIP. Sometimes former players say, well, why would the football coach say anything? And the host, who's in the business of fodder and information for Sports Talk Radio, is saying, are you kidding? If they don't say anything, what are we going to do? How are we going to make any judgment? So for Stephanie Ruhle to say, of course, she shouldn't have to do interviews. What business are you in addition to the broader thing about the country, what business are you in when it comes to getting information? All right, and I hope they talk about, yesterday on NPR in a swing state, Vice President Harris said, yes, we should get rid of the filibuster in order to enshrine our rights. You know what that means, abortion. Dan, it's cut 15, the Dean of Decency, noted constitutional scholar, she agrees, Madeline Dean.
Decency.
Yeah, she agrees with Kamala Harris.
Yeah, and I do want to follow up on that because Vice President Harris has been making some news on this front in recent days. She's calling for the Senate to the end of the Senate filibuster when it comes to Roe versus Wade, to reinstate Roe versus Wade. Senator Joe Manchin slammed that yesterday, I believe, and said shame on Kamala Harris for saying that. What's your take on this? Is this something where the filibuster should be put aside so Roe versus Wade can get put into law?
It's a reminder how important this election cycle is, that Democrats get control of the House so that we can pass and codify Roe versus Wade. But of course, Harris is correct. We should work by majority rule, not a supermajority rule, which is actually the minority ruling. So yes, filibuster should be shed for the purposes of codifying our freedoms. It is stunning to me, upsetting to me, that my 3 daughters-in-law and my 3 granddaughters have fewer rights than I had, that their own health care choices are not protected. I'm going to speak today on the floor about IVF. How all of this, fertility, abortion care, health care for women, has been politicized by somebody like Donald Trump who does not understand any of this. It's absolutely infuriating.
And what's your response to Senator Manchin?
Oh, he's wrong. He's just flat out wrong. And he doesn't get it either.
Oh, yeah. So Manchin now. Here's what they want. They want to use abortion and what has happened here legally, constitutionally, beautifully, to quote Trump, to be sent back to the states to get rid of the filibuster. And then with that control, what they'll do, it won't be just abortion. It'll be Green New Deal. It'll be the Black Lives Matter movement. It'll be anything. They will try to codify into law forever in this country, a country that we won't recognize. That's what it's about. That's what the filibuster is about. That's why they hate it. Now, at various times, various parties have threatened getting rid of the filibuster in large measure, and they backed away knowing what that would mean when they're not in power. And the fear is if you've given them a couple years or 4 years in that with that kind of power, they will fundamentally change the country so that it would be very hard to go back and fundamentally unwrite that. That's what this is about. And they're crazed, of course, by abortion, using abortion as the draw to get rid of the filibuster and to go down that path on just about anything. Now, I don't know that Trump is going to talk about the filibuster or explain it. I think he should. I think when you explain it in layman's terms to people what would happen here, it's chilling. This is exactly the agenda. And Madeline Dean is no reason given, none of that. She couldn't even come on the show when we talked about potholes and explain it, let alone the Constitution. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Now, Dr. Ben Carson will be here, and we're going to talk with Michael Graham, who heads up the Delaware Valley Journal. They broke the story that the state senator in Northeast Philadelphia, his Twitter account was using the N-word, slurs toward gays and Asians and everything else. He says somebody else probably put that in there. The Inquirer finally woke up and picked it up yesterday. So Graham will be here to tell us what he thinks about that. Then at 1:30, I'm really looking forward to having the vice president of Teamsters Local 107. The polling here in Pennsylvania says that Trump is even stronger here than nationally among Teamsters unions members, which I think represent a lot of different unions. It would be very similar. Why is that? Well, I don't think he can accept that. And he's coming on here to tell us why he thinks this isn't so, I guess. But we'll give him ample time and go back and forth. I think this is the essence of Trump. A guy who has broken through with union members like this, it's obvious, with at least African-American males, with Latinos, maybe across the board, like no Republican in recent memory. And yet, what are we stymied by? Principally suburbanites, principally white women, vaguely Republican in the suburbs. Are they really going to vote? Gallup, and Gallup is the most trustworthy out today, that says, by their polling, on 10 big issues, Republicans, not just Trump, but Republicans in general, are in the driver's seat on 9 of them. Abortion's the only one they're not. So how in the world is this close? I told you how it's close. That's where the sticking point is. That's where the demographic is. How do we move the ball with them? We can go nuts. I mean, it's maddening. I get it. You just want to scream at the wall and go nuts? Or what do you do to get over the finish line and reform the country? Let's face it, it's coming back to, it's better than 2020 because the numbers for Trump are so much better this time. The problem is, though, this factor of women in the suburbs again, the PhD moms, as we lovingly call them. All right, 855-839-1210. Here's the side question, vis-a-vis Henry. If it's a success, then put that one up on the board for Henry
today for this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it fails, then we'll never forget it.
Great.
All right.
So, a lot of pressure there,
no
Henry.
pressure, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So,
Seriously.
you may want to come up with a good one today. So, Henry, as I understand it, you think fall, which I hate, and I hear the song there. We're looking for TV, song, or movie that the fall or autumn has a major role in.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Makes you hearken to the fall, makes you think of the fall, feels like
Okay.
fall whenever you watch or listen.
All right, that's a good nuance. That encourages it even more. All right, the ones that occurred to me were, remember the Titans, because in the beginning they go away to camp, and then when they come back, it's more September-ish fall, getting into the nitty-gritty, and it allows me to say the classic lines, game ball, Ronnie Bass, from Denzel Washington.
It's a great impression, of Denzel that you got there.
Well, my voice is a little bit messed up today, but the way he does it, the pausing of Denzel Washington in that, the lies he's telling kids. I had to take over when I was 12. There were 8 kids in the family. Daddy died. Now you go out there and quarterback. Then the next quarter, I think he said it was 10 kids.
Yeah.
All right, so Henry, you get to lead off. What's yours?
All right, so I think this is an easy 1-1. I might get some flack for this answer, but I think it's the clear answer. Gilmore Girls.
Oh my God.
That's a really good answer.
Gilmore Girls, every season takes place, at least the beginning, it takes place in the fall. It's always fall vibes out in Stars Hollow, the fictional town up in Connecticut.
Hold on, I got to dig here because I know Gilmore Girls because my wife, Maisie, forces me to watch it. She loves it. She feels nostalgic about it. Henry, you don't have a significant other, do you?
I mean...
So you're just watching Gilmore Girls on your own.
Okay.
This is a show that my mom always watched growing up, and I always watched with her, so I'm familiar with the show. And it does give a lot it does. It's a great answer. I'm just surprised that you know it. Not being forced to watch it.
I'm completely surprised. Dan, how about yours?
Show.
You heard earlier Simon and Garfunkel's The Boxer, which comes off their album Bridge Over Troubled Water, and for some reason the image from the album cover of them with their fall jackets on really just strikes a chord with me, so every time I hear Simon and Garfunkel, I just think of the fall. And I'm also going to take off, related to Thanksgiving, the only Thanksgiving movie that I could really think of, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely autumn. Dead Poets Society, one of my favorite films, is Autumn Set too.
But
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, but I think Remember the Titans is just so many lines, so much stuff. When the defensive coach tells them they're not going to gain 1 yard. If they gain a yard, I'm taking every one of you out of here. All right, 855-839-1210. You get a line. Jump in. That's the side question today. And the conundrum of Trump, the breakthrough with groups that no Republican out there that I can think of can bring in, and yet we can't just rack up what the layups are. What's wrong with these people in the suburbs? Are they really going to vote this time around against their interests because they can't stand Trump? You got to face reality. That's what it comes down to. All right, also, the latest, the Senate report on the Secret Service, including the drone agent in charge calling up a toll-free number about how to operate the drone that was there. And yet nobody's fired yet. Nothing has happened with the Secret Service. I don't know. You know, I wanted to ask, what's the first, so I don't forget to do that. I was going to ask it later. What's the first action you'd like to see Trump do through executive action, whatever, when he takes over? Fire the entire infrastructure of the Secret Service or the FBI? What should be the first action, the very first thing you would do? Might have to come up with a top 10 list on that. 855-839-1210.
Dom Giordano.
Whenever we talk with someone at these great events, I like to do a little lightning round. Taylor Swift.
Listen, honestly, I think JD Vance sort of said it best. When your grocery costs go up by 20%, it hurts you. It doesn't change anything for Taylor Swift. It's not going to stop her from flying on her Global Express all over the world. Yeah, it's just, I don't know that she's in tune. Like, my daughters like her music. Vote based on what you see with your own eyes. The media will tell you those eyes are lying to you, but like, if I see it, I'm sure you see it.
It's Dom time. Dom Giordano. Weekdays noon till 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
I got my together. I got my together.
I got my together.
Just say it. You can get your shots together too. Your COVID-19 shot and your flu shot at the same visit as recommended by the CDC.
I got my shots together.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both.
Are you getting your together?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Small business owners, we know tackling your to-do list can sometimes feel like going 12 rounds against a heavyweight champ. Except that heavyweight's gloves are made of something hard, like diamonds. So when a new to-do pops up, you're like, I can't. I'm boxing my diamond boxing glove wearing heavyweight champ of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy with over 30 customizable coverage options, so you can finally land a knockout blow. See if you can save on business insurance in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having two fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40 each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Due at inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees. But in New Jersey, the C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at the Media Theater in Media, Saturday, November 16th. It's the story of Philadelphia sports put to music.
So much joy and laughter. Brought my friend who's a Giants fan, and I thought that he was going to hate it, but he laughed the whole time.
Well, the orchestra was phenomenal.
His daughter is really, really talented. His niece, all his brothers.
They're unbelievable.
Go Chip Snapper! That's Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at the Media Theater in Media, Saturday, November 16th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
New Jeeps from $269 a month at turnersbilljeep.com. Drive a new Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, Compass, or Ram truck from $269 a month at turnersbilljeep.com. 2024 Compass, 4-cylinder auto, $269 a month, 7,500 miles, closed and leased, 39 months with $22.69 due at inception. Total payments $12,491. MSRP $35,340. VIN number RT175028. Residual $19,083. Tax and tags extra. Not valid with trade-in. $599 dock fee. Ends 9/7/24.
Never miss a moment from the Dom Giordano program again. Download the free Odyssey app and follow 1210 WPHT. And listen whenever and whatever works best for you.
All right, Dom time. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. You got the side question. Last night, as we predicted, Upper Darby, wow, big ticket, approved a $1.1 million weapons detection system. Now, they don't want to call it metal detectors and all that. All right, I get that. But one of the big stumbling blocks here, officials anticipate it will take 40 to 60 minutes a day to process high school students through the system. The claim is that parents pleaded for this after a loaded gun and AR-style magazine were found at the high school. So 40 to 60 minutes, $1.1 million. In addition to that, the detectors can be set off by items like Chromebooks, 3-ring binders, and eyeglass cases. The officials expect 400 to 600 searches a day to be conducted.
So they're going to have to take that out of a book bag and put it in a pan like you're at the airport?
Yes.
Really?
How else would they do it? Yeah. Or just not have them.
And they're saying it's only going to take, 20 minutes for 1,000 kids?
Well, they said 60 minutes.
Yeah. 60
minutes. I mean, this is, what kind of school time, what kind of staggering will they do? These searches will, 400 to 600 searches will be conducted until students get used to the systems and learn what items need to be removed while going through the lanes. Searches will be conducted in a separate area. Existing staff members to manage a new process, redirecting them from another system for students to scan their IDs upon entering the school. Wow. It's amazing to me, and that parents wanted that. Again, I'm not sure of the status. Maybe someone knows. Do they have people there that are armed to prevent some of this stuff? I mean, this is a boondoggle ready to happen here. That high school is 4,400 students. So it's not as if you're doing it with a small school district. 40 to 60 minutes to process them, when they're in line in the morning. That's incredible. And then the delays for people taking out stuff that they forgot is going to set off this whole thing. I wonder if there are people, though, maybe I'm on the wrong side of this, something about this, and this is the first one I know of at a high school level in the suburbs that's doing this. All right? If you know of another, let us know. I mean, mainly this was done in the city, and we get it, trying to protect someone from coming in and shooting up the school. Would that do it, though? Or is this just a nuisance? In other words, you have people that'll wait till a door is open, will just come in blasting right through the area that we're talking about where you're scanning people if their mission is to come in and kill people. 855 and $1.1 million. 855-839-1210. Just the delay. I see it in Philadelphia all the time. It's a whole array of these things. Where Roe and I are, just to go toward Mount Airy, Chestnut Hill, we have to go over 12 to 15 speed humps. It gets to be,
they're so annoying.
And why is this? Because you have some people who have a bit of clout, they get them put in, and because with the traffic laws, like we saw over the weekend, we're not enforcing them effectively, Krasner and everything else, severe things that go on. So everybody in the world has to go over speed humps. And after a while, when you know where they are and the number that are involved here, it's just all an inconvenience. So is this. I don't know that this is effective.
You know who hates that the most?
Who's that?
Your car.
Well, yeah, sure.
Because, driving with 2 feet and slamming on the brake pedal before
I'm not slamming on it. No, I take it easy over them, but there are a couple that are not even pads.
Oh, they're horrible.
You can't even see them, and the sign is minuscule.
You ever bottomed out on one of these?
No.
Oh,
I don't plan to.
I popped a oil pan one time.
Yeah, they are annoying, to put it mildly. Why so many? Well, what's the problem if you're not doing anything wrong? We come back to the same thing again. We don't want to face up to dealing with the problem. And the way to stop school shootings or to prevent maximum damage is to have people there that can return fire. Let's go to Craig in Norristown. Craig is on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Craig, welcome in.
Hi there. Hi. I'm glad that you're in good voice today. And I don't have a first item for President Trump, but a second item would be my recommendation strongly to do private contracting with security firms to augment, supplement, or replace Secret Service coverage for himself and the vice president and their families.
Yeah, Craig, I hear you. It's come to that. This is an organization that can't be trusted. There's no doubt. They can't.
Right.
Thank you, Craig. They can't be relied on. I'll get to all the details on that. We have Dr. Ben Carson coming up. As I said, we're going to talk with the vice president of Local 107. He'll be coming on at 1:30 today, around 1:30, about this startling poll. I thought in Pennsylvania Trump would do worse than the national poll. He did a lot better. All right, let's talk Captain Chucky's for a moment. Things are crazy this time of the year, back to school, a lot of things, football, viewing parties, tailgating. It's a great reason to call your nearest Captain Chucky's and let them manage your meal planning. Got the all-new wild shrimp scampi ravioli, Chucky's teaming up with Vera Pasta, offering lobster, crab, and now wild shrimp ravioli. Remember, order the brand new Bang Bang Jumbo Lump Crab Cake. An all-time winner. It's a delicious, creamy 5-ounce jumbo lump breaded crab cake with a kick for those who like to spice it up with some heat. Check your store for availability. Perfect time, though. We're mentioning fall today. How about soups? Captain Chucky's delicious soups, desserts, appetizers. Their Gulf shrimp is always a hit. Wild caught, never farm raised. And my favorite, those delicious Dom rolls. So visit Captain Chucky's today. There's got to be a location near you. One place to go, welovecrabcakes.com. Just welovecrabcakes.com. Headed to the shore, Captain Chucky's at theshore.com.
When was the last time you watched your home movies? Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Bob Casey supported sanctuary city policies that let criminal illegal immigrants onto our streets instead of deporting them. Casey voted over and over again to fund sanctuary cities, making our neighborhoods less safe. After an illegal alien was arrested for domestic assault in Philadelphia, instead of deporting him, they let him go. Thanks to sanctuary city policies Bob Casey supported. That same criminal, released under the radical policy Casey voted for, went on to repeatedly rape a 5-year-old girl. It could have been prevented. It should have been prevented. But Bob Casey failed us. The U.S. attorney said this young girl was raped because of Philadelphia's sanctuary city policy. Bob Casey voted over and over for this madness, putting our families, our children, at risk. We've had enough of Bob Casey. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Chase believes that having a place of your very own should be accessible for everyone. That's why we're offering homebuyer grants of up to $7,500 in select areas. It's just one of the many ways Chase can make your home buying dreams a reality. Visit chase.com/homebuyer or your local Chase branch. The Chase Homebuyer Grant is available on primary residence purchases only, on select products and subject to eligibility. All home lending products are subject to credit and property approval. Program terms are subject to change without notice. Home lending products provided by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, equal housing opportunity.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
The weather pattern remains unsettled over the next several days. We'll have some showers around today, a bit more humid with a high near 72. Tonight, shower chances continue, low 68. And a warm and humid day on Thursday. Clouds continue with a shower possible with a high near 80.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
Dom Giordano Show. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. What's the first thing President Trump should take care of if reelected? It's a good question, and Trump has said any number of things, including illegal immigration. But joining us to talk this race is somebody who's run for president himself. Dr. Ben Carson pays another office visit here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Dr. Ben, welcome back to Philadelphia. Thanks for joining today.
Always good to be with you. Thank you.
All right, as you observe what's happening, Dr. Ben, I wonder if you agree Trump has broken through, it's obvious, with all kinds of people the average Republican can't, but we're still seeing him test out how to reach Republican women. Do you see that, and what more would you advise could be done on that front?
Well, that's going to be a tough group. They have to be willing to listen to what you have to say. And, there's so many people who say, yeah, things were better under him, I agree, but I just can't stand the guy.
Yeah.
I just hate him. And that seems to be the thing that separates them. But I would say to those women, don't think about how he makes you feel. Think about how he will make your children feel and your grandchildren in terms of their safety, in terms of their prosperity. And if you had a terrible disease and you were going to die and you needed a very good surgeon, would you rather have the surgeon with a poor bedside manner who heals everybody, or the one with flowery words who kills everybody?
Well, I would take Dr. Ben Carson. I'm making you come out of retirement. That's my plan. I have it written down if I ever need you. That's what we're. Could you still operate at this point, or do you think you wouldn't want to do it?
I could if I had to, but I don't have to.
If I had to.
Well, I'm thinking if the plane is going down, I want Sully at the command landing on the Hudson, and if I need an emergency surgery or doctor on the road, Dr. Ben Carson comes to mind. Somehow or another,
an entire season of Lost.
Yeah, he would figure it out. I'm still, every time you come on, I tell the producer beforehand, I'm still amazed. I was just rereading something about you, of what you've done. Here's a little bit, Dr. Ben, of what Trump said the other day, to the point about this whole thing with women, and we'll see what you think. Here's President Trump.
I am your protector. I want to be your protector. As president, I have to be your protector. I hope you don't make too much of it. I hope the fake news doesn't go, oh, he wants to be their protector. Well, I am. As president, I have to be your protector.
And that's true, but I don't know that that's going to reach the hearts and minds of the people we need.
No, I mean, he needs to just continue to talk logic and common sense. And help mothers. We need to be talking about how do we help the young mothers who find themselves in a difficult situation. We shouldn't just condemn them for having an abortion. We should say, here are some real alternatives, and we want to help you. And we want to also help the ones who've had abortions, because the mental anguish that they go through can be a lifelong burden. So, I mean, we just need to be open to helping people. But when it comes to the abortion issue, conversion is better than coercion. Help people to understand that that's a living human being with a heartbeat with nerves and sensation, with a brain that starts developing from day one and continues to develop until your mid-20s, which is the reason, by the way, that we shouldn't be burdening young children, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, with making decisions that will inalterably change their bodies because they were curious. Because kids are curious and they're suggestible. And to be subjecting them to that kind of thing is nothing less than child abuse.
Without a doubt. Well, your persona goes a long way with this, but even you with the left face some of the most vile stuff imaginable. Dr. Ben, the president presenting his economic plan yesterday, there's a lot of good stuff in there. Kamala Harris doing it today. I'm sure there's going to be some copycatting here. Give me a sense of how you think, I mean, it's still the overriding issue. And doesn't it come down to, are people going to look past how they feel about Trump and look at, this is the first president we've had a shot, other than Grover Cleveland, to see what they did the first time around? We just need to hear more. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?
Absolutely. And he did logical things.
Yes.
You know, putting more of the taxpayers' money in their own pocket so that they could spend it themselves. You know, developing our energy resources to the point that we were not only self-sufficient, but we were actually able to export and make a lot of money. I mean, those kinds of things make sense. Closing the border. He did things that actually helped people. And the blessing is that his administration and the current administration are juxtaposed next to each other. You don't have to remember back 3 or 4 administrations. It's very easy to see that there was a huge difference.
Without a doubt. Dr. Ben, what's your current project? What are you up to other than helping with the campaign?
Well, of course, you know, I was named the faith chair for the campaign. So we've been doing a lot of work with ministers, trying to get them to stimulate the people in their sphere of influence, because there's so many, particularly evangelical Christians, who say, I don't want to be in a position of having to choose between the lesser of 2 evils. I don't want to choose anything that's evil. Well, the fact of the matter is, all elections are a choice between the lesser of 2 evils, unless Jesus Christ is one of the candidates. So,
Dr. Ben, while you're there, can you help my tribe, Catholics, and get the bishops? Are you going to be talking to bishops and cardinals? Because they're certainly on the bench. I don't see too much going on here.
Well, you know, every sect, every religion, everybody who believes in God, who believes in decency and morals, we all need to talk together. We need to recognize that if we unite, we can control the narrative. We don't have to let the leftists and the Marxists who want to destroy all faith because they want to be the ones that you depend on. We can control that narrative, but we have to be actively involved.
Well, Dr. Ben, I'm very glad to know that you are the point person on that. When we talk again, we will really emphasize that. The president has the right person on that, nobody better. Dr. Ben Carson, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Tom. Take care.
Dr. Ben Carson here. Every time you're with him, you just harken back. How else? I don't know that I can point it to the existence of God. Maybe that's, you know, sometimes it feels like a little bit of overreach. But how else do you explain what he did? And you notice what he said? Yeah, Dan and Henry, yeah, he could still operate. He doesn't have to now, but.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, he's keeping it in reserve.
Got it in the back pocket.
Yeah, it's in the back pocket. So he's in charge of the faith
Jack from
thing.
Lost.
He didn't really answer about the bishops and cardinals, which I have no doubt are equating abortion to illegal immigration. So it's a wash on this. Okay, 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, you just push pound 1210. Well, Jimmy Matthews in Bluebell, out there in radical Montgomery County, where every vote counts and even ones that aren't legal count. Let's go to Jimmy Matthews. Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, Dom. How are you today?
Well, very well. First caller, that was second caller of the day. So what's on your mind, Jim?
I was calling to see if President Trump was in the studio.
No, not yet. We have that. That's an October surprise we're working on. Don't give it away.
How about was he on the air with Dr. Ben Carson with you?
No, that was just Dr. Ben. Yeah, so.
Then why do you still refer to him as President Trump if he's our former president?
So I should say former President George Washington every time we see
Twitter
it.
or the YouTube chat now. Live on air.
Yeah.
No. I just wanted to know. I was curious.
Because we live in a fast-paced world where we're not cumbersome. He is president, so is President Obama. I'd say the same thing.
Jimmy, I'm so happy you graced us with this call.
Yes,
Jimmy's
exactly.
a regular on our
Yes,
X on YouTube
yeah.
and often quick to correct Dom whenever he calls President Trump to say former President Trump. But Jimmy, being such a linguist expert, a debate has developed over the past couple of days here on the Dom Show over the word niche is how I pronounce it. Dom pronounces it niche. You are allegedly a linguistic expert because you love to correct Dom. Where do you stand, sir?
I stand with Dom, niche.
Oh, my God.
Wow, that's the first and last time you'll probably ever say that, Jimmy.
Thank you, Jimmy. That's like Bernie Sanders and the Cheneys against Trump. It's a weird combination. All right, the day is young. All right, you heard Dr. Ben, 855-839-1210. Catholics make up 26% of the vote. Now, we don't want any religious figures telling people they definitively must vote for X, Y, or Z. But I'm just curious. A lot of Catholics listen, still at least culturally Catholic. What should they do? Well, what guidance are they giving in this election? The only guidance I've seen is the Pope. He said that illegal immigration, the life of the migrant, that's life too. Meaning that cancels out abortion. Read between the lines.
That cover is the best kiss.
Thank you, Chris. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Coming up, I'll give you a little bit more on the Secret Service, this Senate report that was released that is as damning as anything we've ever heard. And yet they churn on. They're both arrogant and incompetent, the worst form. So I would say among the first things President Trump would do in office, immediately fire the entire network there, the Secret Service, bring in people, and reform it. Not opposed to even private security at some point. I know that could be messy, but how can you put your life on the line? I could not do that every day with this current Secret Service. The report indicates that one of the Secret Service, the guy in charge of the drones, was calling a toll-free number about questions on how to operate the drones. He had a half hour of training. That was it. How in the world do you get away with that these people are still in play? I mean, this isn't any Mickey. This isn't Barney Fife calling a toll-free number to figure out the drone. All right, 855-839-1210. Let's talk Martin Water. The great folks at Martin Water. It's important to make sure that our families have the essentials, food, shelter, and, of course, pure, clean drinking water. A lot of news about drinking water these days. Do what I did. Count on Martin Water Conditioning to secure your family's drinking water. The Kinetico system removes all the impurities from your water. What comes out of the tap is crystal clear, all-natural water. Not only the best tasting water ever, it provides peace of mind knowing that your family's water is pure and clean. The Martin Water Conditioning family is passionate about water. They'll put their 46 years of experience to work for you. Their customer service, attention to detail are just fantastic. They come out to your home, test your water, recommend solutions that make sense to you. So contact Martin Water Conditioning today. We had great experience with Dwayne, who's been to the house several times for various things. They love to show you what they can do. They get thrilled when you take a look and, wow, I didn't know there was that much. Yes, wherever you are, martinwater.com or call 800-887-7555, 800-887-7555.
Hi, this is Carson Daly, inviting you to be part of Odyssey's mental health initiative, I'm Listening. As a dedicated mental health advocate, it is my great honor to again be hosting this awesome 2-hour special, along with Dr. Alfie and Katie Neal, as we engage in this very meaningful conversation. Connect with us right here for I'm Listening.
Tonight at 7, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Pastor Brad Lacey here, First Baptist Church, Conshohocken. Join us Saturdays for the great message and be blessed. 5 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, did you hear? Wawa has classic hoagies for just $6.
Any classic hoagie?
Yeah, any classic hoagie.
What about the cheesesteak?
$6.
Meatball?
$6.
What about the Italian hoagie?
It's $6 for a classic. I shouldn't even have to ask, but what do you want for lunch?
Hoagies at Wawa, of course.
Right now, get any Wawa Classic Hoagie for $6. Gotta have a Wawa.
So last year I had the bright idea to dig up part of my backyard to put in a new patio. Little did I know that underground electrical for most of my neighborhood ran through my backyard. One wrong hit of the shovel and bam, lights went out, my hair turned white, and now I can wirelessly charge my smartphone. You know, they say hindsight is 20/20, but 2/20? That's something completely different. Trust me. Call 811 before you dig. Know what's below and help us hit 50 and 5. 50% less damage to buried utilities in 5 years. For info, visit pa1call.org.
Need new doors and windows, but not high-pressure sales tactics?
If so, give Emmons a call today. At Emmons, we provide top-notch installation service with a focus on quality and customer satisfaction with brands like Anderson and Provia Windows and Doors.
And you can upgrade your home today with our energy-efficient options, which help save you money.
Call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having two fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40 each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Due at inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees. But in New Jersey, the C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
Honey, I'm going to Wawa for dinner.
Okay, but Ben wants pizza.
Yep.
And Nick wants a burger and fries.
Right.
Oh, and the twins, they won't touch anything except for mac and cheese.
Exactly. Wawa has something for everyone for dinner, so I only have to make one stop to make everyone happy. So, what do you want?
Well, if you're going to Wawa, I have to have a hoagie.
From burgers to hoagies and everything in between, Wawa has dinner for everyone.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535, 800-511-3535, or biglou.com.
Hey, Riverton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Tom Giordano's show. We know in our heart of hearts that crime is not going down tremendously, that illegal immigration is incredibly damaging to communities. Many times, though, it's small towns across America. But what about Manhattan? What about New York? So when Henry and I were talking before the show, when he put this together, there's a lot of truth in it. This is not from Springfield, Ohio. These are not yahoos. These are Manhattanites. Cut 14. Here's what they said about immigrants and crime.
Have the dubious distinction, 100 murders in 466 days in office. Never before on both sides, Republican, Democrat, have you ever had 100 murders in Manhattan in 466 days. On day one, Alvin Bragg says he was not going to prosecute felonies. They give you all their fake statistics. Well, if you don't arrest nobody, you don't have no statistics.
All right. And it goes on and on and on. This is the game, and the media would prefer not to be curious about this until they jump in and try to protect, as we've seen with illegal immigration, to say, well, it's not so bad in these towns. These towns are revitalized by it. What about in Manhattan? I've gone after Cardinal Dolan multiple times. His argument is this is just like it used to be against immigrants. Really? Even New York can't handle this. Chicago, for 1 month, spending $31 million the other day. They just approved it for the next month to house and take care of the illegals that have been sent there due to the Abbott plan. How much of it can you take? Well, you still have enough people that continue to vote for Democrats. All right, side question today before a special guest is hit us with something, song, flavor of it, TV, movie, that says autumn, that says fall. Let's go to Maria in Cherry Hill. All right, Maria, good afternoon. What's yours?
I have two, Golden Pond and The Deer Slayer.
Okay, well, what's your best? Pick one.
Golden Pond.
All right, yeah, Golden Pond, Henry Fonda, Jane Fonda, bit role. I forget who plays the wife on Golden Pond.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, it's
Katharine Hepburn is Ethel Thayer, if that's who you're looking for.
Katharine Hepburn. Yeah, it's a good film, and Jane Fonda's pretty good at it.
91%
pretty loaded cast.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. One more, Jesse in Drexel Hill. All right, Jess, what's yours?
Well, Dom, when fall rolls in, I think about a movie whose town was based on Haddonfield, New Jersey, because the screenwriter was Deborah Hill. In the movie, the town was Haddonfield, Illinois. It was the largest grossing independent film of its time, directed by John Carpenter. And the theme music was iconic. I mean, it would scare the fleas off a monkey. And that would be Halloween.
All right, nice call on that. Like your style with that.
Too. I like that.
Yeah, a lot of information there. I didn't know that was based on Haddonfield. The writer was from Haddonfield, New Jersey.
That's crazy.
All right, coming up. No secret, I write for the Delaware Valley Journal. Find it online. It's a great area where you get stuff you don't see anywhere else. So they broke this story about a Democrat in Northeast Philadelphia's Twitter account, and he was in his 30s when this was going on. He wasn't a kid. Had the N-words multiple times and slurs toward gays and Asians, apparently. He denies it. So the editor, publisher of Delaware Valley Journal, and really inside sources, it's a national outfit, is with us next to break it down. We'll give you what the non-denial denial is. And again, this is an important seat, but it's broader than that. It's about if this were a Republican, a conservative, they offered this up, what would the Inquirer do? What would the TV news do? At 1:30, we're going to talk in the next hour with the vice president of Teamsters Local 107, which has a storied history. His members say they want Trump. And I think he can't believe it. That's what he told the papers. We'll give him a chance to explain why he thinks he has to educate them about Trump. All that in the big 1 o'clock hour on Talk Radio 1210.
There are so many terrifying political and economic trends tearing down the global economy. But your retirement does not have to collapse with it. The exclusive crash-proof retirement system guarantees over 5,000 consumers not only survive, but thrive despite market volatility, guaranteeing protected growth that cannot be taken away.
My name is Robert Sims. I live in Levittown, Pennsylvania. The interest credited to my crash-proof retirement system can never be taken from me. With all the debt that the nation has, I am leery of where the economy is going to head long term. I feel good about where I sit with the crash-proof retirement system, regardless of where the economy goes in the next 5 years or so, because it has delivered on its promises.
Schedule an appointment or register for the next Crash-Proof Retirement educational event at Spring Mill Country Club on Wednesday, October 16th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Virtual health, real patients, real doctors, real complex cases. Take one.
I received a kidney transplant at Virtual Health.
Transplants are some of the most complex procedures in medicine.
I thank them for keeping me alive.
We are the only transplant center in South Jersey.
And Virtua is one of the best centers in the country for minimally invasive orthopedic surgery.
I had the hip replacement of the future. I'm back, baby.
Want to follow our stories? Go to Virtua.org. Virtua Health, here for good.
This is a special alert to anyone owing the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes or with unfiled tax returns. Write this number down, 800-585-0344. The IRS has ended COVID forgiveness and they are cracking down. Call Tax Relief Helpers now to hear about our tax debt reduction programs. If you're facing liens, levies, an audit, wage garnishment, or already in a payment plan, we still can help you. You may qualify to have your tax debt settled for a mere fraction of what you owe or for other resolution programs. Tax Relief Helpers has tax agents available now for a free consultation. TRH has already helped thousands of taxpayers qualify for these generous relief programs, earning them an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. If you or your business owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands to the IRS, you don't have to be afraid anymore. Call our relief hotline now to see what savings you may qualify for at 800-585-0344. 800-585-0344. Once again, that's 800-585-0344.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback, plumbers protect the health of the nation. And Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumbers690.org.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles. Highly logical. Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
We're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Carson Daly, inviting you to be part of Odyssey's mental health initiative, I'm Listening. As a dedicated mental health advocate, it is my great honor to again be hosting this awesome 2-hour special, along with Dr. Alfie and Katie Neal, as we engage in this very meaningful conversation. Connect with us right here for I'm Listening.
Tonight at 7, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Welcome in. So we told you yesterday that Delaware Valley Journal was reporting on this Twitter account still run by Philadelphia Democrat Senator, Northeast Philadelphia, Dillon. I didn't say the first name because the Democrats, it doesn't matter. Jimmy, Sean, maybe they'll tag Sean back in. And if this were a Republican, what would be happening with these kinds of posts? In addition to which, is it any wonder why we see how much crime's committed in Northeast Philadelphia, which used to be safer, probably, than other areas of the city. Now, not so much, to put it mildly. People there complain about it. Then they continue to vote for people that are Democrats that will do nothing to challenge people like Larry Krasner. So Delaware Valley Journal breaks this loose. They report it. They had a exclusive on this. And then the Philadelphia Inquirer gets Dillon to comment on it. He says somebody else must have posted this in an account that he regularly posts in then and posts in now. Joining us to break all this down is the managing editor at the Delaware Valley Journal, where I write, and somebody who does a lot of stuff nationally like this. Michael Graham, former talk show host also, joins us on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Michael, great job yesterday breaking this story. Thank you for coming on today.
You said you want to break it down. I just break things.
Okay.
As far as anything beyond that, repairing it, analyzing it, I'm in the breakage department only.
Well, again, it's with all the media out there in Philadelphia, Delaware Valley Journal is filling a – Michael, by the way, we have a raging debate here. Now, you're going to back me up, I think.
You got to get Michael's opinion.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh,
the
God,
talk radio
here we go.
guy, right. Is it niche or is it niche?
It is niche.
Yeah,
that's
my
it.
guy,
Okay.
Michael.
I'm never sending another column there again. That's it. Your
It's
house.
niche,
Now, wait a
and
minute.
it's like quiche. It's
Yeah.
like quiche.
Yeah,
Or, remember
I
the-
think
of
if you
course,
were
remember
doing talk radio every day, you would have said niche. I'm going to go back and listen to the tapes. Come on, you're a traitor to the profession.
Well,
you would mock
remember
it.
that
Wait a minute, Michael. You would mock it. All those things you wrote about, put on airs. You've
I'm
gone
sorry.
Hollywood, Michael Graham.
I can't. It's like the famous story of George W. Bush campaigning down south. He's at a restaurant, and the waitress, very attractive, bucks a blonde, comes over and says, "What would you like?" He says, "I'd like a quickie." She turns red and rushes off, and his aide leans over and says, "Mr. President, it's quiche." So it's
All right.
quiche
It's a
and
kitsch.
it's niche.
All right, put that down as a negative
right.
here. So this is.
Can I just point something out about Senator Dillon, by the way?
Yes.
This whole story just reeks of what's wrong with politics in general and the Democratic Party in particular.
Exactly.
We just went through Joe Biden was clearly unfit. He was unfit to serve. It was obvious he was unfit to serve. They should have had a primary. Instead, they screwed with the calendar. They kicked out New Hampshire because it's notorious for retail politics. They knew they couldn't put Biden on the going on the town by town circuit. So they just killed the primary and moved on. And then they finally have to admit they got to get rid of him. And so magically, Kamala Harris is suddenly the nominee. She's never gotten a single vote. And I will tell you, Dom, I've been surprised by the number of civilians. That is, people who are into politics. They vote regularly, but you know what I'm saying? They don't read the politics page, blah, blah, blah. And they've stopped me and said, how is this legal? It really freaks them out. Well, I go, the other example is Dillon. You got this guy who becomes a judge. They got to replace him. They're going to put Sean Dillon on the ballot. Oh, Sean can't fill out the ethical forms. He fails the ethics form filling it. So they just shove this guy, who's never been an elected official ever, Jimmy Dillon, onto the ballot. Hey, you're a senator now. Kamala, you're the president now. Jimmy, you're the senator now. Hey, how about some freaking voters? Could we get the voters involved in this?
Well, that's right. And, Michael, you got good knowledge of this, but there was a 14-year-old kid killed under the Krasner policies right around that time, and yet they still voted for this guy, the brother tagged in,
point.
versus the Republican who was adamant you send him to Harrisburg. He's first in line to try to get Krasner out. So,
and I don't mean to interrupt, but it seems like anytime anybody gets a wind of what happened here, they go crazy. So Democratic heavy, Reddit.com, not The Onion. Your story actually popped up on there, Michael. Not The Onion, because what it is, it seems so satirical that it can't be true. But the first comment actually says, I think this is far more problematic than the tweets, to be honest. Dillon entered the state, quoting what you said about him being replaced by his brother. And they say, they pick someone's brother. I'm sick of political family dynasties, even on a small level, this coming from a Democrat. So it seems like when people hear about what happened here, it's not just conservatives saying this is crazy. It's everybody from independents, left. They all think that's nuts that you can sub someone's brother in there.
And Michael,
look at this story here. We have two stories that DelawareValleyJournal.com has broken. The first is, hey, Jimmy Dillon had arrest warrants outstanding for him because he blew off a court date. Who the heck had that story besides us? Nobody. Now you have, and it's not just a Twitter feed he used. He started Hoops 24/7, this basketball academy. The reporting we've done indicates that he really loves this as a project. I think it's great. It's wonderful. It gets people involved. No one's disparaging what he does. But then how the way you can get into office in Harrisburg while tweeting out N-bombs and don't be gay as an insult is because you never had a primary. You never had a race. You never went through the process of getting vetted. We're seeing it now with Kamala Harris now. She has videos saying, I legalized prostitution. Where did that come from? It came from somebody who's never vetted because the Democrats did an end run around the standard electoral process.
I hope you put that in Delaware Valley Journal, too. That's the point out of all this. What do we make, though, of his denial, saying, well, somebody else probably put that up? Well, what's the next level here for you?
So, Dom, as you know, I spent part of my misspent youth as a political flack. I ran political campaigns for a living, and I wrote many a statement. Read this statement carefully, and you'll note that he never says explicitly, I didn't do this. What he says is, as a coach, I work with kids to teach them basketball skills. I'm not a big social media guy. Quote, if basketball players who work with Hoops 24/7 posted something like this more than a decade ago, it's the first I've heard about it. So he never mentions these specific tweets, how they got on his system, et cetera. And also he throws his athletes under the bus. What a jerk move to say, hey, look at these hooligans I work with. Way to go, Dylan. Classy leadership there, Senator.
The guy I would tell you to zero in on is his communications guy. He and I have made the paper several times. Mark Nevins, he says to the Inquirer, this is just MAGA craziness and weirdness.
Exactly.
Michael Graham is a weirdo. Is there a couch near him?
Exactly.
I mean, that's what they're saying here.
Sorry, weirdos, it's not happening, said Nevins. So Nevins is doing his job. I used to have his jobs. But it's fine. You try to turn the spotlight elsewhere. But the fact is, this is his 24/7 academy. It's his 24/7 Twitter feed. Every other tweet has a reference to what a great guy Senator Dillon is. So the idea that he can just walk away from it is BS. He's going to throw it on his athletes is BS. I think that says a lot. But I also think it's interesting of how quiet the Philly Republicans are being about this. Why aren't they just jumping on this guy cleats high? I mean, I'll put it this way. Can you imagine what the reaction would be if there were a Republican state Senate candidate with an end?
Yeah, exactly. You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
We know for a fact. I actually had someone from another news outlet.
Michael, you're breaking up. Hold up one second. Put you on the hold. We'll see if we can clear this. To that point, the Republican Party is non-functional here in Philadelphia. That's what the problem is. Now, we had in the Young Republicans yesterday, but the Republican Party, Michael, is virulently anti-Trump, and their campaign seems to be to spend 18 hours a day in bars in Northeast Philadelphia.
But I just don't understand why not cleats high at this. This is standard operating politics. It's what Democrats would absolutely do. And the lesson, I'm not a big Trump guy, but the lesson that all of the Republicans who think they have good policies should learn is if you really think that they're good policies, if you really think the other guy's policies are going to hurt people, then you got to be willing to fight. And that doesn't mean be a jerk. That's the thing. Trump takes it always to the nth degree. But you got to fight. You got to act like it matters. And if you act like it matters to you, then it'll matter to the voters. But you got to act like it matters.
Let's take a moment to talk about, now, I forget how long Delaware Valley Journal has been in existence and what you're doing nationally, but the suburban coverage of the Delaware Valley Journal, the coverage that the rest of the media, sometimes, Michael, you probably agree with this, it's not so much just ideology. Sometimes it is. They don't know a good story anymore. They're in a bubble, and Delaware Valley Journal every day has a local story that is a great story that has impact, is entertaining many times, that's bypassed by the others.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating that you've got these, particularly in the space of public schools, which, people on the left love to tell you how important public schools are, and of course, it particularly comes to spending money. But when you start to have do coverage of what public school board members are actually up to, when they're illegally trying to control meetings, or when when the school boards are literally putting books with images of guys having sex with each other in their middle school libraries. I mean, look, that's news. You don't have to set aside whatever you want to think about, same-sex relationships or LGBT, blah, blah, blah. It is just news when that's happening. This is a public school system, and yet we often find, not through intrepid reporting, but by just showing up, that we're the people who have the story. Hey, everybody, you're welcome to cover this. You can do this. The fact that Republican voter registrations in the suburbs have been inching up, and one of the reasons why I think the Harris campaign folks are so nervous about Pennsylvania, everyone knows they're going to win Montgomery County, Chester County. That's not the point. The point isn't do you win the Philly suburbs? They've got to win the Philly suburbs big enough that if you add it with the Western PA, and Pittsburgh suburbs, et cetera, that you can overcome the suburban and rural vote in other parts of the state. And right now, it just doesn't look that strong. It looks like they're going the other way. Also, the fact we had a story, Dom, about the return of 3 Mile Island, making the point that the people who are bitching about 3 Mile Island, coming back online, are the same people who are bitching about natural gas power production, and they want to shut down all coal production. And when you just ask the common sense question, there's a lot of suburban families who need their power every day. There are a lot of suburban workers who are working in tech jobs, and they're going to be part of these AI systems that are going to need massive amounts of electricity to operate them. What is your plan? And if your plan is 3 Mile Island, icky, natural gas, boo, coal, no. So rub two sticks together, AI.com, that's your plan? And so it's not that we're breaking the stories. It's just that we're paying attention and writing down what I think an average person would want to know.
I think you're taking too little credit. I mean, I go there, and I think I'm plugged in, and still I get something every day. Michael, thank you. It's an honor.
Well, I got to give a shout-out. Linda Stein, our Intrepid news editor.
Yes.
Fantastic job. Taylor Millard getting her back. They do the work. I just sit around and look pretty and drink cocktails in the afternoon. That's my job.
All right. Well, that's a good managing editor job by you. Thank you, Michael.
And you know what, Dom? It's a niche job, but I'm very glad to have it.
Well
very
done,
niche.
All right, strike that from the record. Thank you, Michael.
Good.
Thank you, Michael
Thank
Graham.
you.
Take care. Michael Graham. All right, another voice weighs in on the scoreboard that says niche. He's been out of talk radio too long. All right, so there's so many parts to this. Where is the Republican Party on this? Why are they not pouncing on this as an example of what happened here? And you notice the connection to Joe Biden. It's also same kind of thing that went on here. They tag in another guy, and then people in Northeast Philadelphia show up and vote for Democrats. And then, as the Krasner reign, et cetera, continues, what do? They complain. The remedy is there. You have a real good opponent, a 28-year-old running against him that is fired up, volunteers and everything else. Take a look at that. We'll have him on the show. But more broadly, and the Inquirer, to their credit, did follow up after Delaware Valley Journal broke this story. Now, he can come on the show and tell us that. Mark Nevins, he's the guy I told Dan that when we had the shootout at the Veterans Memorial in downtown Philadelphia, Patrick Murphy, Dan, showed up to disrupt the Swift Boat veterans that I was friends with. They're the ones that exposed John Kerry. So he disrupted their news conference. When he stood a couple feet over disrupting, I disrupted his news conference. And we were off to the races. All right, so Nevins was involved in all that. He's the guy here saying this is just MAGA Republican weirdos. Where are the Republicans on stuff like that? Where were they when Linda Kearns basically broke the story of the breaking into SEPTA and putting up the Kamala Harris Eagles endorsement? Was anybody ever arrested in that? Even though the one street artist, never say that expression again, Tom. The one potential criminal seems to take credit for it. Has he been arrested for doing all that? No. What did the local Republicans say about it? Nothing. Come on, Vince Fannerty. You know it's true. Vince, you know you're going to come on. Henry's now is doing some of the booking with Dan, so maybe Henry would have the magic touch. I'll go up to the bar. They can have everybody there. We'll do the interview there. Tell them we'll buy for the bar that's there. Just a half-hour interview of the life and times of the alleged Republican Party in Philadelphia. They don't want Trump to win. They've said it publicly. They're a hindrance. Thank God for the young Republicans. Thank God for the grassroots here in Philadelphia. Because every vote in Philadelphia that we gain, that's on the big scoreboard statewide. Now, you know that if you missed it, Bob Brady, we have the tape, lobster bet, not a pizza bet, said they're going to win Philadelphia by 500,000 votes. Oh, man. This is almost too easy. This show would be on FanDuel. I'm plunking down everything. 500,000 votes, Bob. Come on now.
Did you guys make an actual bet?
Oh, yeah, lobster.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I said pizza.
He upped the ante.
He said lobster.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how much he was. I don't know. He's pretty fired up on this one. I don't know if they've ever won by 500,000 in Philadelphia. I think Obama won by 475. This is not Obama. There's not going to be 500,000. All right, 855-839-1210. Love to get your reaction to this story. It's much broader than a state Senate race. It gets into all these angles. Now, look, we say this all the time. If somebody did something when they were a teenager or something like that, they apologize for it, and it's cancel culture to go back to kindergarten. This is when he was in his mid to upper 20s, I believe, or maybe 30. And he's denying it. Somebody else must have put that in. I wouldn't say this. All right? Northeast Philadelphia is a perfect example. If you want to be safe and prosperous, consider voting for Republicans. Consider changing the culture here, where the one guy he can't meet the ethical requirements, so they just tag in the brother. My God. We covered that. We talked about it. And people in Northeast Philadelphia said, I don't care. He's a Democrat. That's what I'm voting for. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Don't forget, hit us something that says fall, something that says autumn. That's the side question. In about 13 minutes, too, I'm really looking forward to talking with the Vice President of Teamsters Local 107. And we're going to talk about this Trump poll that says he did better in Pennsylvania, even than nationally. And it's Dr. Ben Carson was straightforward with this. What does Trump have to do to just do decently, even slightly decently, in the surrounding suburbs of Philadelphia with Republican women? That's it. He's going to win Pennsylvania, thus winning the presidency. He's broken through on these other fronts. Or is that a bridge too far? That's going to be the tell of this election. Melania Trump coming out with her book, interview tomorrow on Fox. Does she do anything to soften anything here, move anything? 855-839-1210.
For more expert appliance shopping advice, here's National Appliance Warehouse's own appliance guru.
Hello, let's talk premium. These are the top-of-the-line appliances that dream kitchens are made of. If you're planning an investment like this in your home, where you buy is as important as what you buy. At National Appliance Warehouse, we're committed to delivering the superior buying experience you deserve. Our showroom features beautifully displayed premium appliances of every major brand, including highly sought-after Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove. Our team of gurus is well-versed at guiding you as you navigate the same appliances you'd find in the most magnificent homes and kitchens of cooking enthusiasts. And the National Appliance Warehouse team has the expertise to properly deliver and install your stunning new appliances.
Fall into incredible savings now at National Appliance Warehouse. Purchase a qualifying Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove appliance package and choose 3 years of additional warranty or a rebate up to $2,500. Click nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their showroom in tax-free Wilmington today.
This school year, make the most of it for your child or grandchild and make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Give your student all the tools they need for a great school year. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2-to-1, allowing students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Help your students start strong. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today at 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having 2 fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40. Each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Due at inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees. But in New Jersey, the C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. 610-894-7415 or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
Family and Company Jewelers on Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey is known for being South Jersey's diamond destination and your trusted jeweler for quality, service, and price. Choose from the largest selection of engagement rings in the area or have their master jewelers create a one-of-a-kind ring just for your special day. Visit their showroom or shop online at familyjewelers.com.
Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
I love this song! I love nachos.
Loving everything? You might be buzzed.
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzz warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Keeping free speech alive. Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT. WPHT.
What would you set a number at that you want to carry Philadelphia by that you think reasonably to win Pennsylvania ballpark? What did Biden do the last time in Philadelphia? What did he carry it by?
It was like 470, 475.
Okay.
Along with Clinton, along with Obama, 480. We're looking to try to get 500% majority, 500,000 majority.
Oh.
we got a shot at that.
All right, can we have a pizza bet on that? I'll give you odds, though. 500 is a lot. I don't know if I can hold you to that. You carry Philadelphia by 500,000?
You could hold me to 500.
500, Henry. Write that one down. Bob Brady, 500, he says here.
Majority, and the hell with pizza, we're doing lobster.
Oh, okay, that's it. See, that's the Democrat Party right there. Dan wasn't here for that, and we told him that did happen. By the way, we're glad to get this correction. We've been underselling our guest at 1:30. Bill Hamilton is the president of the Pennsylvania Conference of Teamsters, representing 96,000 Teamsters in the Pennsylvania area. President, Joint Council 53, Eastern Pennsylvania and South Jersey, and president of Local 107 in Philadelphia, and the International Region, Eastern Region Vice President since 2008. So that's a lot of people he represents. And in the polling, at least in the inquiry yesterday, it says they support even more than the national polling, President Trump. All right, he'll be here momentarily. You got the side question going on. Let's go to Scott in Runnymede. Hey, Scott, good afternoon.
Tom, thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that you go on the radio again. Thank you. And I want to tell you something about your talk person there, Henry. Really great guy. Give him a pat on the back. I appreciate it.
All right. The check's in the mail for Henry. Yeah, thank you, Scott, very much.
No, it really is. You could tell when somebody answers that phone that they're a decent person, and he is. Thank you. I told Henry, Dom, this has really bothered me. I don't know if you watch Fox, but guess what? I am kind of a big fan of Gutfeld, especially since he's become more of a Trump organizer and stuff like that. But I called and text Janine Pirro, Judge Janine, on her text line out there. This morning I get a call back. She said, we've had other complaints. We're checking on it, okay? She said, did you call local radio or local television, especially where you're at? Because she knows where I'm at in Runnymede. She said, in your area, Pennsylvania, you're close, call them. Dom, this is the problem. I'm watching this show live at 5. And the other Fox shows, they'll have something on Trump, but then they'll go to something. This morning, they did P. Diddy and the rape charges. Dom, all of a sudden, from his picture, up comes Donald Trump over top of the story. Still talking about P. Diddy. It's not talking about. And Dom, I hope you put yourself, as I told Henry, put yourself, I don't know, you're the expertise in TV and stuff over there. You're talking about Dom Giordano. Here comes a rape charge, and there's Dom's picture over top. But that's not what Dom's being charged with. He's not anything. I'm not understanding this. Is this how much they hate this man? And I know it's hard for me to. It was burning up in me right now, Dom. And I'm sorry. And I know you're the guy on radio.
Very good call. Thank you, Scott. So I'll have to take a look at it. Is Fox, look, Fox is not as pro-Trump as maybe Newsmax or whatever, but yeah, I hear the point. I haven't seen any of that yet from Fox, and the only thing I've seen is Bret Baier say he believes that Kamala Harris has accepted doing a debate on Fox. I rather doubt that. I still would like to see the debate. We'll keep our eye out. I mean, sometimes these things are happenstance. Scott, it's not just that they're playing with that. Yeah, P. Diddy, and put Trump into that mix. When this P. Diddy thing finally breaks, though, and it will, it is going to be enormous, apparently, all the entrails of this guy. And how did he get away with it this long? We're back to the same thing. All right, Joe in Exton is next. Hey, Joe, good afternoon. Welcome in.
Yes, hello, Dom, and good afternoon. For my answer, the 18th century Italian musician Antonio Vivaldi wrote a collection of suites known as the Four Seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter.
All right, Joe. Thank you very much for that.
Do I correct the man, Joe? It's not fall. It's autumn, is it not?
Yes. Well, fall was a shorter word.
When he's zoning in on the punchline, you hear that little change in his voice. Oh, my goodness.
Autumn's such an elitist way to say fall, Dan, too.
Yeah, it is fall. Let's stop with the niche. And now we have to say autumn. All right, let me squeeze Joe in Columbus, and then we'll go to our guest. Hey, Joe, afternoon. What's yours today?
Hey, Dom, going back to yesterday, it was never, ever, ever realtor. There's no extra A in that. It's realtor. It always was.
I know, but that is a common, expression. I hear you. Yep.
Right. Mine is the mamas and the papas. All the leaves are brown. What is that? Oh, God. The name of the song.
California Dreamin'.
California Dreamin'.
Yeah, you can feel the mist. You can feel the change of seasons with that. Yeah, very underrated, Joe. Good one. Yeah, that fits. That's the side question today. All right, coming up, I read you, our guest is in leadership for 96,000 Teamsters in the Pennsylvania area. In the Inquirer yesterday, I'm fascinated by this whole thing with Trump and the Teamsters, how this has played out. It's the upside of Trump. No Republican could break through. Name one that's going to get that many people supporting him that are in unions like the Teamsters, so much so it was a non-endorsement situation. All right, but our guest has some things he says his membership apparently don't know about Trump. This should be a good debate. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. We're also watching today to see when Vice President Harris tells us her economic plan. I think it'll be very short. The key thing they'll try to do is distinguish it from Bidenomics. They'll lead with no tax on tips and child care credits, and then there won't be too much. That's what the plan is. All right, Bill Hamilton is next on Talk Radio 1210.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. The weather pattern remains unsettled over the next several days. We'll have some showers around today, a bit more humid with a high near 72. Tonight, shower chances continue, low 68. And a warm and humid day on Thursday. Clouds continue with a shower possible with a high near 80.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Veneria is and has been my dentist also. And doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to them, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Veneria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Veneria's office does everything. Dr. Veneria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien high-efficiency tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Chase wants everyone to be able to have a place of their own. That's why we offer mortgages that help you purchase your new home with down payments as low as 3%. To find out more about our low down payment options and other ways Chase can make your home buying dreams a reality, visit chase.com/homebuyer or your local Chase branch. Loan amount, loan value, and loan product type limits apply. Geographic restrictions may apply for jumbo loans. Products are subject to credit and property approval. Program terms are subject to change without notice. Other limitations and restrictions apply. Home lending products provided by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, equal housing opportunity.
The following is a paid commercial message.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into their radio show Sundays at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Welcome in. So you know the backdrop of this. Sean O'Brien speaks at the RNC. Then there's a non-endorsement of either Harris or Trump. But he releases the national polling, indicating Trump had a substantial lead, to put it mildly. Various units around the country then say they're still supporting Harris. They're still endorsing Harris. Pennsylvania does their own polling here, and Trump has a bigger lead. Joining us to break all this down, and I think differ with it, or at least say what he's going to do as a union leader, is Bill Hamilton. Now this is going to take up the whole interview. He's the president of the Pennsylvania Conference of Teamsters, representing 96,000 Teamsters in the Pennsylvania area. President, Joint Council 53, Eastern Pennsylvania, South Jersey. President of Local 105 in Philadelphia and the International Eastern Region Vice President since 2008.
107 there.
Yes, 107, storied union here in the Philadelphia area. If you've lived here, you know 107. Let's go to President Bill Hamilton. President Hamilton, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Well, Bill, the first thing, and you have more time here than with the Inquirer, the first thing you put in the paper is you don't seem to think, if this is accurate, that the results are true, at least of some of the local unions, 107 being one of them.
Yeah, my comments were not misquoted, but not entirely accurate. What I said and what the meaning of my words was that it's not totally representative of where our local is, because we have another poll to compare with. When it's sort of like, I have to walk you through this if you have a minute.
Sure.
When President O'Brien endeavored to do this, we did it on a local by local basis across the whole country. We brought in our members to a union meeting at a union hall where we had secret ballot tables set up. We had an open dialogue for an hour before they needed to vote, pros and cons. And we certainly have quite a few Trump people there that were supporting Donald Trump. And we welcome our members from both sides of the aisle. However, I mean, when that poll was conducted, that poll was more people participated, Tom, than the other poll by far. And it came out about 8% for Biden at our local, and nationally it came out that way also. The difference is that nobody expected President Biden to step down as quickly, and it took us all by surprise, quite frankly. And it left us in a quandary of, well, geez, we have this data that we have nationwide that isn't accurate anymore because he no longer is running, so it's not representative of maybe what the members' wishes were. When we did this QR code, a lot of our members, I just had a union meeting in September with our members that came back from, we don't have meetings during the summer. But a lot of them indicated to me that they didn't get the QR code, they didn't understand it, they didn't know they had to vote on it. So it may have not been communicated as well as the first round, because we got to actually tell the members what they needed to do.
Okay, Bill, I got the point. In the interest of this, though, is there any doubt, though, that a lot of your members, and I think it's relatively accurate here, support Trump? You say we're going to have to educate them that Trump is a good union guy. He's not. Could it be something more? Could it be that these people are turned off by how far left the Democrat Party, particularly Kamala Harris, have gone?
Totally possible. And you have to understand, Dom, only 2% of the people nationally even responded to this QR code. And what our members have to be told is, I was part of the interview process for President Biden, for former President Trump, and for Harris. I sat in the same room, asked questions, and quite frankly, the answers that Biden gave were terrific. He's been great for unions. When former President Trump came in, I thought he was very evasive. He wouldn't answer questions on the PRO Act, which is near and dear to our hearts. It's an act that's being supported by quite frankly, Republicans and Democrats. Locally, we have Republicans here, Mr. Fitzpatrick, who's a good friend of labor, and he's a Republican, that support that. The PRO Act is merely guaranteeing union membership.
All right. Well, Bill, could it be, though, all that in particularly against Biden, the quintessential union guy, we all know that they are voting on other issues? Again, they're voting. I see your members, a lot of them, as patriotic Americans, and I don't see the Democrat Party as being in large portions of it in step with that. Do you still see this as the Democrat Party you came up in?
No, I don't think it's the Democratic Party I came up in. I don't think the Republican Party is either. I think everybody has gone far left and far right, and the middle has almost disappeared. I'm not a big proponent of when you say patriotism. I served our country for 2.5 years in Vietnam. I take offense to some of Trump's comments about the military service and denigrating our veterans, which many of them are our members. They don't take kindly to being called suckers
Well, wait a minute, Bill. Now, I don't want to get down into the memory hole here. If we do more of an interview, that is greatly in dispute, and we recognize your service certainly here. I'm talking about issues, though, your members face, like inflation and illegal immigration. What are your thoughts that they might see Trump as much more of the answer, particularly than Vice President Harris?
Well, I certainly think that the immigration issue is something that everybody is concerned with. Our members are concerned about it. It hasn't had a direct impact here in Pennsylvania, like in many other states, as much. But I do believe that there's a bipartisan answer to it that, quite frankly, both sides are choosing to ignore. And I think it is an issue. I think it needs to be addressed. And I think that that's an issue that sure all our members care about. I think it's an important issue.
And you don't think this could be a reason why they support Trump? How about inflation? I mean, your members are well-paid, union jobs here in Philadelphia, but they're middle class, and the middle class is being crushed, and the crush is from Bidenomics. And I would argue with you, Bill, that maybe Kamala Harris doesn't have the union cred that Joe Biden had, that maybe he could get away with it. She can't, and that's why they support Trump, to get a handle on this.
Well, let me just say one thing about inflation and the impact it has on our union members. It has the same impact on every family, I'm sure. But in many of our contracts and our national contracts, we have a cost of living allowance built in. So if inflation goes up 7%, so their wages go up 7%. So we keep in tune with inflation. Now, I'm not saying that puts them in a better spot. That's just keeping their head above water like everybody else. But at the end of the day, I'm concerned about inflation. I'm also concerned about some of the comments that get made during campaigns on both sides. And I don't think that our members totally grasp some of the things that are being proposed, like tariffs on all goods coming in. I don't know how that fixes inflation. I don't know how that lowers the cost of things. Many economists will argue that that is just the opposite of what we should be doing. We shouldn't be putting tariffs on everything that comes into the country. We should limit the tariffs to where they're effective, because it's only going to raise the price of goods.
I would argue that's what Trump ultimately is going to do on this. How about the issue, Bill? Are you in the camp that says Democrats ought to continue to say that Trump is Hitler-light and Trump is going to destroy democracy in the country if reelected?
I don't believe anybody is Hitler-like. I think that word is totally taken out of context and misused and should not be used. That comparing anybody to Hitler is offensive to me, and it should be to any other red-blooded American. That is totally not the way I would frame any presidential candidate. And sometimes the media is our biggest enemy on both sides, that they don't clearly tell a picture, and it disturbs me when I read rhetoric like that. That's not what we're about, and I certainly don't agree with that.
Well, that's very good to hear. What are your thoughts? Now, I realize he's the head of the union, but I think Sean O'Brien has done a great favor here in that he went to speak at the RNC, reaching out, and then he didn't endorse or come up with anything or your internal stuff here, but he did release the national poll so that people had a sense, at least one sense, of how union members are feeling. What are your thoughts on what he's done?
I think he's done a fabulous job, and the mere fact that he would conduct this poll shows the courage of his convictions and release it. He didn't have to release this, and he had a lot of pressure not to release it. But he stood up, and I got to tell you, it was so refreshing to see him speak at the Republican National Convention and be invited there. And his message was really a clear one. It was for working American families And it was not a Republican or a Democratic speech. It was a speech to the working people of the country and the corporations that mistreat them. And I don't think people like Elon Musk like the speech too much, but I thought it went well, and I thought he served the membership well by doing that and showing that we're a union of both parties.
Well, Bill, I'm very glad you came on. I hope it's the first of many times here. So your message again to Local 107 or the 96,000 Teamsters, in the way that you told the Inquirer, you said, we have to tell them the truth. We have to dispel all this social media nonsense that Trump is a good union guy. That seems to indicate you think that's where they're getting their feeling about Trump. It's not from some of the things that you and I just talked about.
Well, as I said, Dom, my members elected me to lead and tell them the truth. And up to this point in time, Trump hasn't been good for unions. He hasn't been good for us. He refused to pass the Pension Protection Act when he had the chance and left it to Biden to do, who actually bailed out a lot of the union pension funds. Now, some people on the other side might say, well, why should we be bailing out pension funds? Well, we bail out the stock market. We bail out companies and banks all the time. This would have collapsed a lot of American families and would have cost the government.
Bill, let me ask, how do you think your membership would ask you? You're better off than you were 4 years ago?
They would answer me, yes.
They would?
Yes.
And do you think that's because they're union members versus the rest of us?
I think it's because, yes, that's part of it, because we have built in language to the contracts that they will not suffer in bad times, that if inflation goes up, their wages go up with it.
All right. Well, Bill, thank you very much. Very glad you came on. Stay in touch with Henry. We have something else. We'd love to have you back.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill Hamilton. Nice job by Henry setting it up. All right, we'll get your reaction, 855-839-1210. I think there's accuracy here, and I think these union members are looking at a whole array of things when it comes to Trump. And they're looking at the Republican Party, and it's out of the Democrat Party. It's out of sync with them. But it's only Trump. It's the magic of Trump on this versus the average Republican. The downside of that is we go to suburban Philadelphia, any number of Republicans might do better there with the usual voters. It's a conundrum. All right, if you're in a union, we'd love to hear from you, too, at 855-839-1210. You can grab a line right now. Hey, how are your cholesterol levels? Managing healthy cholesterol is a key to a strong heart and overall wellness. For over 38 years, Rescue Natural Supplements has been a trusted ally in helping people reach their cholesterol goals. I've counted on Rescue for years, and with good reason. Their range of supplements is designed to meet your specific needs, from omega-3s to red yeast rice and more. Take charge of your heart health today. Use the code DROP at checkout to double your order on any cholesterol product for free. Call them at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com, res-q.com. Remember to use that code DROP. Buy one, get one free on Rescue Cholesterol products. Double up your cholesterol support today. Use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, at res-q.com.
Your weeknights are getting a whole lot better. With Jimmy Fallon, 7 to 10 p.m. starting Monday, October 7th.
Honestly, I do mean this. What an incredible honor to join this lineup, because the thing you guys do that matters to me, you guys know your listeners. You hang out with them, you meet them, you do events. That to me is amazing. That's why I got into radio. Is you want to be a part of the community. I'm always on tour doing live events. I want to be part of the community, which is a fancy way of me saying I got to get out of New York a lot because I owe a lot of people money. But the point is, I'll be there.
Jimmy Fallon, weeknights 7 to 10 p.m. starting October 7th on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Hey, did you hear? Wawa has classic hoagies for just $6.
Any classic hoagie?
Yeah, any classic hoagie.
What about the cheesesteak?
$6.
Meatball?
$6.
What about the Italian hoagie?
It's $6 for a classic. I shouldn't even have to ask, but what do you want for lunch?
Hoagies at Wawa, of course.
Right now, get any Wawa Classic Hoagie for $6. Gotta have a Wawa.
New Jeeps from $269 a month at turnersbilljeep.com. Drive a new Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, Compass, or Ram truck from $269 a month at turnersbilljeep.com. 2024 Compass, 4-cylinder auto, $269 a month, 7,500 miles, closed-end lease, 39 months with $2,269 due at inception. Total payments $12,491. MSRP $35,340. VIN number RT175028. Residual $19,083. Tax and tags extra. Not valid with trade-in. $599 dock fee. Ends 9/7/24.
Is your home cold and drafty, or windows and doors just won't open like they used to anymore? Brighten your home with new doors and windows from Emmons Roofing and Siding.
We offer a wide selection to fit your style and budget, ensuring energy efficiency and aesthetic appeal.
And new doors and windows enhance your home's value and comfort.
Call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Honey, I'm going to Wawa for dinner.
Okay, but Ben wants pizza.
Yep.
And Nick wants a burger and fries.
Right.
Oh, and the twins, they won't touch anything except for mac and cheese.
Exactly. Wawa has something for everyone for dinner, so I only have to make one stop to make everyone happy. So, what do you want?
Well, if you're going to Wawa, I have to have a hoagie.
From burgers to hoagies and everything in between, Wawa has dinner for everyone.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the relief hotline at 800-525-8448. 800-525-8448. 800-525-8448.
Hey, Clementon. Yeah! We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
WPHT. They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's stand time.
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says.
With Dom.
Coming off a great interview like that, the lines are hot, Dom, so I'm going to send it right back to you to take some calls.
All right, 855-839-1210. You just heard the guy that represents 96,000 Teamsters. And if I was thinking about this, he's right that their salary apparently is inflation-proof, sort of. But I don't think all these surveys and what happened nationally lies. There is vast Trump support here. If it were Biden, it might be different. You got the quintessential union guy, and they could say to himself, oh, he's just going along with the craziness of the Democrat Party. They know Harris is a progressive, radical extreme. And that's why you're seeing, and it's the Trump persona breaking through here. Let's go to John in the Northeast. John, good afternoon. Yo, John.
Yo, how you doing?
Good, John. Very good.
I don't know what world that guy's living in. He must be on CNN all the time, because I'm telling you, it's rough out here. I mean, as far as the inflation thing, that's not true with the company I work for.
All right.
I don't know.
It might be for some unions where there is an inflation thing there, but I think you're right. It can't possibly match the 19.5% at grocery stores. I don't think it could match that.
No, it's not true.
So, John, your union, is there Trump support in your union?
No. But the members are Trumpers.
Okay, well, thank you, John. Pete in South Philly, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Pete.
Tom, how are you, buddy?
Good, Pete.
I can't believe what I was hearing. Not from the guest you had on, the union leader. Let me start by this. I'm local 115 for 33 years. I'm getting ready to retire next month. He failed to mention this. Oh, yeah, we get a cost of living raise every 3 or 4 years when the new contract is signed. But so did the damn union dues jump up every month.
How much?
Boom.
How much union dues are you paying now? Would you say, Bill?
Would you say I could tell you exactly, or would you want to know when I started how much we were paying?
Yeah,
it's up to you.
Yeah, tell us when you started to now what it is. Yeah.
Okay, when we started, it was you're going to laugh, but I said 33 years. We were paying $7.85. I brought out my old pay stub.
Okay.
That was a month. Okay. Now we're paying $95 a month union dues. Local 115 Teamsters, and I work for the University of Pennsylvania. And I know they listen on the radio down there, and they listen to this. Well, I won't get no flack because I only have a month to go. What are they going to do, beat me up?
So you're paying over $1,000 plus there, right? Every year just in union dues.
Just in dues, yeah, union dues a month, and look at the prices of everything. No, and the other things you were saying, we do get paid holidays, vacation time. But oh, by the way, Dom, when we retire, now I'll be there 33 years. When I retire, I get a pension. Guess where I get my pension from? Not from the University of Penn, which would be a lot. We get it from the stinking union, and that union pension. I don't want to use the word. I'll put stinks.
Yeah.
Our union, our pension stinks down there. And obviously I'll be dependent on Social Security and my little union pension. Thank God I do have a Roth IRA I haven't touched since 2008. So that's non-taxable, by the way. So
great news you did that. Thank you, Pete, very much. All right, we continue. Thanks to Henry. And look, I believe in the other side, if it's a situation where it's not just going to break down instantly in the screaming, whatever. The guy's a Vietnam veteran. We certainly honor that. The comment about Trump, though, and going to, he kind of meandered into that. Bottom line is this. Trump has broken through with unions. All this stuff tells me that. What's the reason? Some of it is Trump's background. But where the work is, we're back to this again. What do you need to do with these people in the suburbs? Because I'm going to blame that as the reason. What does Trump need to do? What he did the other day about the protector, that's not going to work with these women. You know, do you want to come on every day and say, oh, it's wonderful, he's calling them? Not going to work. Or do you want to win? I want to win. That's the only thing that matters here. The stakes are beyond high. What does he have to do? What's the policy? What is the persona that's going to get us over the finish line in these 4 counties, which may determine the country? All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Dom's Money Melody also coming up. Big 2 o'clock hour. Talk Radio 1210.
This is a special alert to anyone owing the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes or with unfiled tax returns. Write this number down, 800-585-0344. The IRS has ended COVID forgiveness and they are cracking down. Call Tax Relief Helpers now to hear about our tax debt reduction programs. If you're facing liens, levies, an audit, wage garnishment, or already in a payment plan, we still can help you. You may qualify to have your tax debt settled for a mere fraction of what you owe or for other resolution programs. Tax Relief Helpers has tax agents available now for a free consultation. TRH has already helped thousands of taxpayers qualify for these generous relief programs, earning them an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. If you or your business owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands to the IRS, you don't have to be afraid anymore. Call our relief hotline now to see what savings you may qualify for at 800-585-0344. 800-585-0344. Once again, that's 800-585-0344.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Bob Casey supported sanctuary city policies that let criminal illegal immigrants onto our streets instead of deporting them. Casey voted over and over again to fund sanctuary cities, making our neighborhoods less safe. After an illegal alien was arrested for domestic assault in Philadelphia, instead of deporting him, they let him go. Thanks to sanctuary city policies Bob Casey supported. That same criminal, released under the radical policy Casey voted for, went on to repeatedly rape a 5-year-old girl. It could have been prevented. It should have been prevented. But Bob Casey failed us. The U.S. attorney said this young girl was raped because of Philadelphia's sanctuary city policy. Bob Casey voted over and over for this madness, putting our families, our children at risk. We've had enough of Bob Casey. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
The good and bad with home improvement projects. The good, you save a buck or two. The bad.
Kevin, there's no hot water.
So you move on to the car.
Kevin, what's with the car?
Good news, you can recover from these.
Kevin!
Well, most all of them. But when it comes to your retirement, a mistake can be devastating. Call Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. He's been helping folks prepare for retirement for over 30 years. That's why he's able to correct your do-it-yourself problems before they're problems. Get your complimentary assessment of where you are now and look at some of the retirement boxes you haven't even thought of.
Kevin!
You can't YouTube your retirement. Call Joe Yakovich at 856-925-6674 or visit jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Endurance has paid hundreds of millions in claims. Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-291-3183. That's 800-291-3183. 800-291-3183.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time here. Got a lot of great callers lined up. Just a quick comment here. We're talking about the big, broad question, and thanks to Henry's work on this, we get a guest on like that. It's one thing for me to talk about this repeatedly. It's another to bounce off someone who is in this and is denying certain parts of it. Without doubt. I mean, that's his job. That's the way he sees the world. That's okay. Point is that Trump's focus, and he tried it the other day. That's why we played, and I asked Dr. Ben about this protector stuff toward women. They get it too. Here we have a guy who, despite whatever the Bill Hamiltons of the world might say, and he's one of the more reasonable versus some of the union leadership, you know that. Trump is broken through here. Name another Republican. Well, he mentioned Brian Fitzpatrick. That's because Brian Fitzpatrick sadly goes along with a lot of stuff that I'm not on board with and you're probably not on board with. But Trump avoids stuff. Dan and I talk about this off the air, like right to work and all that. He's not going to get into that. And I agree with certain parts of right to work, but we know that that's not happening now. In other words, Trump is not going to be going with issues who have no shot now, but he's not going to agree with every union inside thing that maybe Brian Fitzpatrick did. That's the line. Then there's a persona. So this protector stuff the other day, though, was about trying to reach women particularly, but women in the suburbs. This is the dilemma again. It's even more apparent than in 2020 that Trump has broken through this time because of how Bidenomics has wrecked people. Now, you heard what the head of the union, Bill Hamilton, said. Well, their wages go up as inflation goes up. Okay. We're piecing that out. It's a little hard to believe, if you're in a union, that you would be matching what you have to pay at the grocery store. I just don't see that. I got to see more data points, and I can't imagine that. It's up 19.3, 19.5% since Biden-Harris took over. So even if you're more cushioned in some ways than some people might be, it's still enormous. It's crushing people. And they're reacting to it. They're also reacting to where the Democrat Party has gone. And let's face it, if Biden were the nominee, Trump would not be, well, in fact, in the one poll, Biden versus Trump, it was 44 Biden, 36 Trump. And that gives you an idea that Trump still has broken through because Biden is the ultimate union guy. And it's hard to erase all the goodwill and seeing Biden as a moderate. I know the radical policies and all. People make a decision and they stay with it for a long period of time. But Harris does not have that ability. Harris is seen as a San Francisco liberal and beyond. And that's why you're seeing this reaction. I'll play it a little bit later because we have a lot of people that want to get in. The Harris spokesperson was asked 4 times in a CNN interview, how would you answer the question, are people better off than they were 4 years ago? And the guy just deflected it. I thought he would jump right in. It's his job and try to make something out of the idea of, yes, of course, for this, and this, they are better off. No one's buying that. They're just not. So then why are we mired in this? And again, it comes back to this antagonism towards Trump's persona, fueled by the media. Dan pulled this. Here's what Bill Hamilton said about union wages. And is this accurate? Does it really take care of itself if inflation goes up, wages go up? Here's what he told me.
Say one thing about inflation and the impact it has on our union members. It has the same impact on every family, I'm sure. But in many of our contracts and our national contracts, we have a cost of living allowance built in. So if inflation goes up 7%, so their wages go up 7%. So we keep in tune with inflation. Now, I'm not saying that puts them in a better spot. That's just keeping their head above water like everybody else. But at the end of the day, I'm concerned about inflation. I'm also concerned about some of the comments that get made during campaigns on both sides.
Okay, so that was his argument. And again, to me, this is relatively simple. The secret sauce with Trump, it's the persona, it's the building trades coming up in that. It's his action, it's his lifestyle. It has appeal here. He's broken through. This goes back to Johnny Doc, back to 2020 when we had him on, that his members were leaning toward this. And the other side, you see where they're headed. That's not what these guys and women are about, I don't think. So how in the world, this is what it's been about for Trump for some time. The upside and then the downside. What is it he should be saying? More importantly, what should he shut up about? Part of it is the rallies. I know people love the rallies. They think it's entertaining. I've told you this as somebody who does this. You're up there an hour and 15 minutes. That's a long period of time. People start to get a little bit off. Trump then says something that gets them going. Is that the best thing? No, not needed. All right, let's go to Lou in Habertown here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Lou, welcome in.
Hey, how you doing today? Yeah, I'm a member of the Joint Council Bill is president of, and I come from a 220-man barn. It's probably one of the biggest in our local, and I can tell you right now, 90% of our guys are Trump supporters.
And what
They're
is
just
it?
not buying in.
Yeah, what is it?
I'm
sorry, Lou. What is is it, as I think it is, it's not just a policy. It's a type of Republican. You know, Mitt Romney could say the same policies all day long. I don't believe 90% would go with him. What is it about Trump?
I know what it is. I think our guys, like we negotiated a contract 3 years ago, and with the end of COVID, I mean, we were able to negotiate some substantial increases. Like Bill said, it goes up, but those increases we just negotiated with the way this inflation's going, it basically means nothing now. They're just fed up with it. And a lot of them, it's just not the whole union aspect of it. It's the things that's going on in the schools.
Yep.
The inflation, it's not one thing. And a lot of our guys say, country before union.
Exactly.
They love being
Exactly.
union, but
That's
tired
why.
of what's going on in this country.
I'm glad you said that. That's my sense of it. And for years, and look, you're in Habertown, but Lou, in Philadelphia, with Doherty and these guys, I knew them. They're not this radical wing. But the deal was, we're going to take care of you. You have to let us run wild here, running down the country, the cultural wars, all that stuff. You have to stand in line and go along with it. And maybe union members are finally saying, we're not going to do it.
Sure. I think that's evident from the last when he went against Hillary. What did he pull? He pulled what? Somewhere around 50% of the organized labor vote when he beat her? I mean, the winds of change are blowing here.
Thank you, Lou. Thanks very much. It plays right into where I think this is going. All right, 855-839-1210. Dave in Oak Lynn. Dave, afternoon to you.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, Dave.
Yeah, I just wanted to call in. Like, I think what I'm a member of Teamsters Local 107, which is the local that Bill Hamilton's the president of. I'm just tuning into your show. I haven't been a listener before this or anything like that.
Well, thank you, Dave. Glad we got you today.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that was interesting to me is like Bill was talking about some of the national contracts because he has his role at the national level too, and those have the cost of living increase into them. But my contract locally doesn't even have that. But when 4 years ago I was making $18 an hour, and now I'm making $24 an hour. And, like, that's a pretty substantial raise. Like, I went out on the picket line with the guys from, United Auto Workers out in Langhorne, and they got 30% raises. So, like, if you're organizing, if you're working with your union, you can get raises. You use the inflation at the table. You tell them, all right, inflation is this. We got to beat that because otherwise you're not going to be able to keep people in your building. So, like, it's a pretty straightforward thing. It's not even necessarily has to be the cost of living that's in there. It's that's one of the advantages of being in a union in the first place. And the idea that confuses me is there are Trump supporters in my barn. There's Trump supporters in the local or whatever. But like, there seems to be this idea that there's like a knob in the White House someplace that like Biden's turning the prices up. And if you could just get Trump in there, then he'll turn the prices down. And like, that's not how inflation works.
Well, Dave, wait a minute. With all due respect, I'm glad you called, but it is exactly what Biden did that produced it. Where did it come from?
I mean, specifically, what it's mostly come from is from corporate profiteering. Like, you can look at the profit margins of any of these major companies, whether it's McDonald's all the way on up to actual industrial stuff.
Dave, you really believe that, or do you realize their profit margins went up because how much they went down during COVID? Do you think Biden pouring in $7 trillion, some of it to people who did nothing for it and got checks, do you think that's where inflation might come from?
I mean, Trump and Biden both contributed to that. And part of the reason the corporations are holding on to it is because Trump lowered their tax rate. So they have no incentive to put it back into their business. They're just going to take it out in the form of stocks and whatever have you.
So, Dave, bottom line here, again, you think inflation came about, you're buying what Casey says, because of the greed of corporate America.
I mean, I'm not entirely sure who Casey is, but absolutely, it's corporate greed. Like my employer, who is a big Trump supporter, was prosecuted by the federal government for how much profiteering they were doing during the pandemic. So, like, it's a normal thing. Like, these corporations just jack up the prices, and because they found, all right, well, you guys are willing to pay this, and they just keep jacking them up, and they have every incentive to keep doing it as long as they have these low tax rates. And Trump put in.
And what were they profiteering? What's the definition of that? What were they accused of doing?
I mean, they were selling the COVID masks or whatever at like a multi-100% markup.
Okay. And that was violative of that. That's not necessarily. I mean, we're in a capitalist system, Dave. It depends upon state law there. But thank you, Dave. Thanks for listening today. All right, we're not going to go back and litigate the whole thing about where did inflation come from. It's amazing to me, and I'd love to have Bob Casey on, this notion that corporate America did this. Now, do we say there are some people who took advantage of something here? We're back to the Snickers stuff and all. It's when you put $7 trillion into it, the spending that Biden put into this, that's what drives inflation. You know the rate of Trump at the end was around 2.5 or less, depending upon the month. And we got over 9.5 at one point. Where does that come from? All right, but right now, it's time, as usual, our daily requirement.
It's Dom's Money Melody.
All the money gone.
All right, today we're playing for a pair of tickets to see the great Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra, story of Philadelphia sports through music, on Saturday, October 26th at the Cherokee Performing Arts Center in Marlton, New Jersey. For tickets, go to Joe Conklin, as you hear all the time.
Oh, come on, Dom, you got to do it.
.com.
No, come on. JoeConklin.com.
Thank you. All right, what's the backstory
so,
here?
Dom, today, 1964, right in the thick of Motown, a huge record was recorded, Dom. The beginning of what became, I think, one of you and Rose's favorite songs, The Temptations' My Girl.
Yes.
Hitsville, USA, Detroit, Michigan, producing some great legends, Dom. But believe it or not, none of the Temptations actually wrote My Girl. It was another Motown legend who wrote about his wife. So, Dom, I'm going to play back. This isn't an original version. The Temptations were the first ones to sing the version. But this is this guy performing the song that he wrote for his wife at the time. We want to know the name of the Motown legend who was a co-writer of My Girl. Take a listen.
I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. Yeah. When it's cold outside.
So he's the first voice you heard there, followed by Aloe Black, Dom. But we want the original singer, the original writer of the song, Motown legend, wrote about his wife, My Girl, Dom. That will win today's prize.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with that cover on this, such as it was.
No?
With the original.
How about this one? Here's with the original band.
Yes.
The band actually involving his wife. So that's a younger version of that same voice.
Even worse.
You think so?
Yes.
Yeah, so Temptations
I'm in
did
the
it.
same boat as you. He was running these by me. I was like, no, you got to play that other one.
Yeah, exactly. You know, these are sacred. It's almost up there with My Way.
So what Motown legend co-wrote My Girl about his wife at the time, Dom?
All right, 855-839-1210. Sacred song, without a doubt. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. Push pound 1210. Keep the calls coming, too, on our union interview. Get your prize right now with Joe Conklin on Talk Radio 1210.
I do think it's badass that Andrew Jackson beat a would-be assassin with a cane. I think that is the coolest thing. I mean, come on. Guy takes 2 shots at him, the gun misfires both times, and he's like, that's it. Like, I wish to God there were cameras back then to capture Andrew Jackson pummeling this guy with a cane.
It wasn't even his cane. He took it from another guy. He was that upset.
Give me that cane. Starts beating the crap out of the guy. Oh, man. That's the best thing I've heard all day.
Rich Zioli, weekday afternoons, 3 to 7. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
Hi, this is Joe Mederchik, PNC Bank Regional President. As a bank, we pride ourselves on being boring. But the truth is, we couldn't be more excited to serve the dynamic greater Philadelphia community. For nearly 160 years, we've quietly toiled away to deliver brilliant results for our equally brilliant clients. We have dedicated PNC teams throughout the local area, all ready to do the boring work to help you unlock your own brilliance. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback, plumbers protect the health of the nation. And Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumbers690.org.
Hey, this is Mike Quick. If you're in the restaurant, hospitality, or casino business and your point of sale system isn't helping you sell more, earn more, or work less, you need to talk to my friends at PDQ Signature Systems. PDQ has everything you need for success. PDQ POS is the fastest, easiest, and most reliable POS system available. Whether you have a single location restaurant or thousands of locations, Joe Flynn and his team will create a custom game plan that will help your business succeed. Visit PDQPOS.com.
It's not just about watching the game, it's about betting on it. I'm Mike Valeni, and on Cash the Ticket, Jim Costa and I break down every college football and NFL matchup like it's the last game we're ever going to watch. From the best bets to the sneaky underdogs, and of course, as my co-host likes to say, the value. And the one thing we're not going to do is pretend we're professionals. We have fun with it, it's an entertainment product, and it makes watching games a hell of a lot of fun. So Cash the Ticket, follow it in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Where's all the money gone?
Show me the money. All right, let's hear the clue today and give us who is doing this classic song.
I've got sunshine on a cloud.
I love it. You guys are crazy.
Yes, I am. And when it's cold outside, don't you know I've got the mother.
So, Dom, what you hear is the voice of the person who wrote this song, a Motown legend who wrote it for his wife, handed it off to Temptations, who turned it into a hit. This is the writer singing. We want to know who the person singing is.
The Temptations, if any original members are still there, going, oh, man, we thought we stopped all this. Why are they playing that? Let's go to Lance in South Philly. All right, Lance, who's singing the song today?
Smokey Robinson.
Yes, it is. What do you think of it, Lance? Are you in my camp in Henry's, or are you in a different niche?
The different niche. I like the David Ruffin version better.
Yes, of course. So, Lance, do you really go around saying niche? And if you do, don't you pause because you're doing the wrong thing when you say it? Come on.
No, it's niche. It's not niche. It's niche.
Thank you, Lance. Thank you.
Really,
great call.
Great
defense
call over here,
Have
Lance.
we put him on hold, Lance? We'll get that off to you. That was a wonderful call on the spot, We're going to do this every event we do. It's like the Aloha thing now with the niche thing. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Smokey Robinson writing that song for his wife at the time, Claudette Rogers Robinson, a co-member of the Miracles, the band that kicked off his career out there in Motown. But, yep, Smokey Robinson, congratulations.
Top 10 favorite song, yeah, without a doubt. No, I won't get to that now. But
whoa,
I asked a little while ago, and we had so much stuff here coming off this great union guest, about what area should he mine to appeal to these suburbanites, okay? This protector stuff, there's truth in that. The president as protector, I want someone who wakes up every day and thinks, I got a big task in front of me. I have to protect Americans. I have to put the military in the right spot, not just cavalierly send them off because of some demand that's there. I have to support the police. I have to make sure we have people in charge who are smart enough at the FBI, Secret Service, etc. So there is a protection aspect as a president, but Trump, I don't think, helped himself the other day in doing that. What should he be talking about that might break through, since it's obvious in any way that you look at it that he's broken through with groups that we got annihilated with in the past? And you're going to see numbers this time that are not bad. Remember, it's all an incremental game when it comes to people of color, when it comes to unions. I'm not sure with Catholics yet. as far as how this goes, but I don't think he's going to. Biden had the, devout Catholic Biden. Harris doesn't have that. Trump might do okay. Let me go to Stephen Jameson next, though. Hey, Steve, good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing, Don?
Good, Steve.
Hey, you gave me a great idea. For Trump to get to the suburban women, imagine him making a commercial tomorrow that came on TV, and it's a mom with a screen door open looking out at her children playing, and then a reminder of war in Ukraine, war in Israel, Iran, China, all these things that our nation is facing, and just bring the protection into that commercial.
That's a brilliant idea because this is Trump's best legacy, more than all this other stuff. Unending wars. Nope. We're going to stay out of that, but he was still able to project American power, Syria, and the like, Steve. Yes, that's an area. And Scott Presler is someone, when he talks on college campuses, that's one of the big things he brings up every time.
So I think if I were able to get a hold of someone like my delegate, Jim Worthington's real close with Trump, maybe I could shoot Jim a message and say, hey, what are the chances of constructing a commercial with a mom looking at her family playing in the backyard, and then the reality of what's going on in the world?
Absolutely. Do it. You know Jim?
Yes,
absolutely. Sir. Give him a shout out, and he has a pipeline to Trump. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, what should he say that appeals toward this? I mean, we've tried the approach, hey, warts and all, you may not like me, but look at what I'm going to do here, that kind of thing. That's not as bad as this protector thing the other day. You can ignore this, you can get mad and say, come on, Tom, you really think these people are going to vote, given when you look at the biggest issues out there, when you look at the enormity of inflation, illegal immigration, crime, any number of these things, the world of fire, they're still at the 11th hour going to be able to vote for Harris. Maybe not. Maybe they won't even vote. But the bottom line is Trump has to move a substantial number of them right here where we are. Let's see. Do you have breaking news here?
No, I'm
just
just
going to attend.
What's that?
Oh, I thought you had Jim Worthington.
No. I just wanted to put up a reminder that Worthington has that event coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday out there. He was all over the place with times, but I think Vance at the NAC out there in Newtown is speaking at around 6 o'clock. You register at TrumpForce47.com. I am waiting to see who the other speaker is. Hopefully he'll tell us and come on, and we'll go from
I'll
there.
text him right now to see if we can.
Ask him if there's any update, and he's making big plans around that. But what is it, Trump? Now, Scott Presler is a genius when it comes to marketing, hitting the road. When he's on college campuses, that's the thing he talks about. The evidence is unbelievable. And yet, Zelensky in town, you saw Josh Shapiro run up there to sign some rocket that he doesn't know where it's going. Well, it's going to hit Russians. That's all that I need to know. Okay, I'm just trying to keep the record straight here at that munitions plant. And again, the Ukrainian issue by itself is maybe a slight majority on the side of we've already given enough money here, something else has to be done. But on the broader issue of let's stay out of these tempting, unending wars, Trump is incredible. When he first did this, I thought in the Republican primary, come on, when you first heard it in 2016, you thought, oh, man, he's dealing with Republicans here. But it unmasked how upset people were after Iran, Iraq, everything that we went through for what? It was pretty clear he was on to something. That is the ultimate legacy. Now, with the tariff thing, not explaining it well enough, allowing them to seize the issue that this is going to drive inflation. He has to link it toward what he's trying to do with companies like John Deere, who are trying to masquerade as an all-American company and then pay substandard wages, et cetera, and be in Mexico. All right, 855-839-1210. All right, coming up, more calls. We'll have the winner. Don't forget the side question here. We'll get into a lot of those. Autumn, fall, movie, TV, or song that brings it home to you. I'm very difficult on this because I hate the fall. I hate the fall worse than I hate the winter.
It's the best season of the year, Dom.
Because there's one song, if we ever do summer again and ask what brings you summer, summertime and the living is easy. Bang, I rest my case. Does anybody say autumn and the living is easy? They say, oh, sweater weather. I don't even like the fashions. Why do women suddenly wear longer skirts and all that stuff in the fall? Oh, look at that sweater combination.
Why do you say, I don't get, the fall is the best time of the year. It's like natural air conditioning. It's beautiful outside. Gosh. Football returns. You got great movies, horror movies that come out because of Halloween. It's fall sweeps when you got reality shows. We got,
the upside, yes.
Yeah, Survivor just came back.
Well, I would just say summertime, the living easy, Jersey Shore. That's all I need. Mulligans. There you go. Thank you, Johnny,
sitting
for that.
in traffic on your way home. And
thank you, Johnny. Mulligans, that's it now. We ought to be broadcasting there every day. Move the summer White House.
I was just on the phone. Were you arguing for fall over summer?
Yes.
No, I was. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you, crazy?
No, not at all. I look forward to fall.
There's rationality. That is perverse.
Starbucks rolls out their pumpkin spice.
Oh, give me a break with that. Pumpkin tastes like garbage.
Okay. 855-839-1210. We have Agatha coming up who wants a protector. Let me tell you about FanDuel first. There's got to be a good parlay here somewhere. This year, FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, is giving you a chance to win big every Thursday night with FanDuel Squares. It's the same Super Bowl Squares game you've always known, only better. That's because your numbers are not just randomly assigned. You get to pick them yourself. You can pick as many as you like, and you get to see the odds beforehand, and you can bet them live during the game. Visit FanDuel.com/Dom, D-O-M, and bet on Squares. Plus, if you're new to FanDuel, you can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place that first $5 bet. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only, $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
We're now in a cloudy and humid pattern. Today we got to 70 with some showers around. Showers overnight as well. 80 degrees tomorrow, a little bit warmer. Another passing shower, but more humidity. By Friday, a couple of afternoon showers with rain and drizzle early with a high of 77.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Smokey the Bear.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey. We're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com.
This is Larry Sinus with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there. Investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
40 days to lose up to 40-plus pounds with NJ Diet. It only takes 40 days to lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40-plus pounds. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work to personalize supplements that will target your hormonal imbalances so you can lose that weight. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep it off. Call Dr. T, 855-5NJ-DIET, or go to njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds, 40 days up to 40 pounds, NJ Diet.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having two fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40 each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Do-It Inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees, but in New Jersey, this C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
I've got sunshine on a cloudy day.
All right, Tom Giordano Show. Welcome in. 855-839-1210 is how you get in. One quick thing, then I'm coming to you, Agatha, because I want to hear this about Trump the Protector as an effective way to go. The Trump people, and we'll talk to Michael Watley. I think he was in on this. Tomorrow he'll be on the show about the various Secret Service and others meeting with the Trump campaign to tell them about the Iranian assassination threat squads into the country. The only thing I don't like about this is I think this is more of them wanting to curtail what Trump does because they're ineffective. I'm not saying these jobs are easy. Everybody knows that. But they are not effective. I wouldn't feel comfortable if I were in that situation. Neither would you. And the report from the Senate about their drone guy at the Butler shooting calling a toll-free number about operating the drone for the Secret Service. You know what this was about? They were putting them with Dr. Jill Biden that day and others, and they weren't going to do it with Trump. They were sticking on this goofy protocol. Now they have Iran meetings telling him these people mean business. They have teams into the country trying to kill him. Well, then he should have obviously gotten the highest level and beyond. As a country, we can protect presidents. What they did at the golf course, they were lucky. They were not protecting him properly. Some idiot, you've seen this idiot, in the bushes for 12 hours? No way. All right, let's go to Agatha in Medford on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Agatha, good afternoon.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for taking my call. I don't know why people are so upset about him saying he wants to be a protector. We need protection.
Okay, Agatha, I'll tell you how women, and look, I cannot fully intuit it, but what I've seen of reasonable women on this, they think it's diminishing, demeaning. They don't want to hear it articulated in that manner.
Well, I don't know. I guess I'm a baby boomer, and I know what this country was like, and nobody's been protecting it for, a long time. And
yeah,
I don't know
Agatha, wait a minute. There's a difference between saying protecting a country, but he particularly went through what women have gone through the 4 years of Biden and talked about he would be the protector for them. This is very difficult with women, say, under 50, under 40, certainly.
Well, what do they want protection from? Like they talk about they want to, have their own rights about their bodies. I don't get it. and abortion. It's been so blown out of proportion. To me, abortion is murder. If you didn't want to get pregnant, you should have thought about that before you entered into having a relationship, a consensual relationship.
All right, Agatha, I got your position. I'm not going to argue with you on that, as much as say there's one goal here, and it's figuring out how to win. And that means getting across the finish line. Trump's persona, the whole thing, anything from today's show with the union guy, et cetera, there is no doubt that he has that and what Bidenomics did and the fact they can't stand Harris. They're not going to buy. Harris is doing a podcast with Steven Jackson today and some other guy from the NBA trying to reach male listener. We got to monitor that, guys.
Like former Pacer Steven Jackson?
Yeah. Wasn't he involved in the brawl at the Detroit Arena? I think Steven Jackson was.
That's positive he was in with.
Yeah. I'm sure.
What a great representative.
I'm sure this podcast is very civil and there's not jokes and demeaning to women or anything else. They just talk basketball. I kind of doubt it. She's doing that today. It's Jackson and somebody else. I forget the other basketball player.
So from his Wikipedia page, on November 19th, 2004, during the Malice in the Palace, Jackson was involved with a brawl with the fans in the stands of the Palace of Auburn Hills. In the aftermath, Jackson was suspended for 30 games without pay, thereby losing $1.7 million in salary.
He was one of the worst.
Also put on probation for a year as well.
Right, and it was the guy who ultimately played for the Lakers, the other guy.
Well, Ron Artest.
Yeah, Ron Artest.
Yeah,
who were both.
World Peace,
yeah.
And Jermaine O'Neal.
She's going on, so I haven't listened to that podcast, but I can tell you raunchy is where I think this is going, and Harris is going to have a lot of awkward moments here. We got to have that tomorrow, trying to reach this male demographic. And then in the tank, Stephanie Rule on MSNBC saying she doesn't have to do interviews, but then she gets the interview. All right, Dan, I don't think Kamala Harris, Dan, should answer anything from the media. See if the phone rings and we get her on. All right, let's go to Jim in Langhorne. Jim, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good.
So, Billy Hamilton, you had him on earlier today, correct?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, Billy is now endorsing Kamala Harris, correct?
He's gone after Trump, so yeah, I think so.
Okay, so tell me something. On September 18th, at the General Executive Board election down in Washington, D.C., they took a vote. They took an attendance vote and an endorsement.
Okay.
I mean, they took a poll, and they put who was in attendance and who endorsed who. Billy Hamilton clearly put a no for no endorsement.
Okay.
He's with Local 107. The next day, they come back out. They put a pamphlet out on 9/19. The PA Conference of Teamsters endorsed Kamala Harris for president. So why on the 18th is he saying no? He's not. They're not endorsing Kamala. And then they come back on the 19th and they say they are endorsing Kamala Harris, especially when the majority of Teamster members in Pennsylvania, obviously and clearly, you've seen the information that's been put out. Clearly, the members backed Donald Trump and not Kamala Harris.
Well, I would agree with you. And that's why we went round and round. He says the information is bad there. It was a faulty poll. That's his excuse.
Really? The members of the union, last I checked, being 36 years in the union myself, we pay their salaries, and they work for us. We took a vote, and it showed that we supported Trump more than we support Kamala Harris.
Well, I think that's accurate.
The leadership,
yeah.
The Teamster leadership did not adhere to what the members wanted. They took it upon themselves, for whatever reason, political reason that they have, because they need backing from the Democrats or from Kamala Harris. I have no idea. But they did not listen to their membership, and that is not what the Teamsters are about.
Thank you, Jim. Well, look, I'll put it this way. People were saying to me, well, why didn't they endorse? They couldn't endorse Trump. Look at this. If you want to win realistically, Sean O'Brien did Trump a great turn. Wink, wink, nod, nod. We can't endorse, even though he's right. The numbers were there, but they put the poll out. That poll is more important than all this endorsing stuff. It really is, because it shows this breakthrough. I believe it. You know it, and I know it, that Trump has broken through here. Now, if you want to win, and Trump desperately wants to win, of course, you got to think to yourself, All right. Suburban women. What is it that I can do to just get enough better than I did the last time? I don't think Kellyanne Conway was the one signing off on that protector stuff. You heard Agatha. It doesn't work. It's just not going to work. All right. Paul in Westchester on Talk Radio 1210. Paul, good afternoon.
Thanks for taking my call, Don.
You're welcome.
But, for one thing, you feel like you upset today that you got your pants in a bunches because you ain't get a sound bite from the union guy today. It was a swing and a miss because you kept trying to set him up with them softballs and he was not hitting. You were swing and a miss, Don.
Well, Paul, you can take it that way. I take it that way. The reaction to this, we're not trying swing and miss. He came on. He made his points. I don't think they hold up, though, Paul. Do you believe the unions don't support Trump?
Yo, I'm going to tell you the reason. Here you go. I'm glad you asked me that. Now, if you would sit there and think about it, let's do the percentages of these unions that you're calling from, because I'm a union member 28 years. I'm working on my second pension. I retired from one, working on my second pension. With that being said, majority of these unions, the percentages is, let's say, 87% Caucasian. Oh, you don't like that word, white. So therefore, as you guys been pumping this great replacement theory, so of course they're going to vote against a greater need. But like the man stated,
all right, thank you very much. They would have voted for Biden. They're not going to vote for Harris. That's where it is. All right, it is the lightning round next. Thank you, Paul. It has nothing to do with race here. Trump has broken through with black working class union men, at least. The thing to face is how in the world, it's an amazing thing when these Trump times we look back on them. How in the world can you break through with these groups that no Republican can? And then the only roadblock, as I see it, there's only one roadblock. What are these people in the 4 suburban counties going to do? Men somewhat, but mostly women, that historically are vaguely moderate Republicans. Are they really going to go for Harris despite all this evidence? That's what it comes down to. All right, it is the lightning round. Though we'll get a winner next on Talk Radio 1210.
Hi, this is Carson Daly, inviting you to be part of Odyssey's mental health initiative, I'm Listening. As a dedicated mental health advocate, it is my great honor to again be hosting this awesome 2-hour special, along with Dr. Alfie and Katie Neal, as we engage in this very meaningful conversation. Connect with us right here for I'm Listening.
Tonight at 7, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have someone else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement but don't have a plan customized to your goals, that's kind of like taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in your suitcase. Seems like a stressful way to start what should be a relaxing time. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to help reduce future taxes, along with a clearly defined income strategy. Call Jim at 610-894-7415 for your complimentary retirement game plan, or visit retirereadyfg.com. That's 610-894-7415.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at the Media Theater in Media, Saturday, November 16th. It's the story of Philadelphia sports put to music.
So much joy and laughter. From my friend who's a Giants fan, and I thought that he was going to hate it, but he laughed the whole time.
Well, the orchestra was phenomenal.
His daughter is really, really talented. His niece, all his brothers.
They're unbelievable. Go Chip Snapper!
That's Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at the Media Theater in Media, Saturday, November 16th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
The following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever, overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
Land Rover is more than a luxury vehicle. It's a lifestyle. Range Rover, Defender, and Discovery, 3 exclusive brands, each with distinct characteristics that reflect unique driving needs. To ensure the finest ownership experience, every new Range Rover, Defender, and Discovery vehicle is covered by a 4-year or 50,000-mile limited warranty, 24-hour roadside assistance, and more. Visit one of 4 convenient locations: Land Rover Willow Grove, Westchester, Wilmington, and Harrisburg, part of Piazza Premium Automobiles.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Free speech lives here.
The Dom Giordano program.
On Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
That is right, and the lightning round is sponsored by Cherry Hill Volvo. Enjoy back-to-school savings on a 36-month lease of an exciting C40, only $369 per month. Down payment, taxes, and registration fees due at inception, except no taxes on the C40 in New Jersey. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo today. Great Judith Krupnick, and again, award winner this year at the event with Rich and me. All right, lightning round. Autumn is in play here. I got to say, thanks to Local 107, Bill Hamilton, we'll have him back and try to unmask some more of this stuff. Let's go to Robert in Ben Salem. Hey, Robert, good afternoon.
Hey, Dom, it's good to talk to you, and I'll keep it quick since it's a lightning round, but I don't want us taxpayers subsidizing failing banks, failing automakers, or mishandled union pension funds. That's not our fault. Let them fix it. And I'll move on to my answer, which is thank you for them tickets to just see James Taylor, Dom, because it helped me remember one called October Road by James Taylor. You guys have a great day, all right?
Very good one. Thank you very much. Yeah, he was bumped at the Democrat National Convention. I'm trying to remember who he got bumped for. It was somebody.
Was it just Biden who was?
Their delay and the whole thing. Then Biden got bumped for somebody. They didn't give him any time. The Earl of Tacony, we never bump him here on Talk Radio 1210. Earl, what's yours today?
Hey, Dom. Trust me, my answer is relevant. It's Don Henley, The Boys of Summer. Nobody on the road, nobody on the beach. I feel it in the air. The summer's out of reach. Empty lake, empty streets. The sun goes down alone after the boys of summer have gone.
Yes, you struck a blow for summer there. I appreciate it very much. All right, thank you, Earl. Nicely played. Bruce in Northeast. Hey, Bruce, afternoon. What's yours today?
Hey, Dom. Yeah, my answer is a song by Frank Sinatra that Henry said he's never heard of. So I'm going to, believe it or not. But I'm no Earl from Tacony, but I'm going to try and sing a couple lines. So here goes. Autumn in New York, illegal swamping the sidewalks. And that's all I got for short notice anyway.
Thank you very much for that, Bruce. Thank you. Yes, it's true. It's a little bit of a change here. All right, Henry, you were screening these.
Wait, you got to take one more. Can you take Bill in Bucks County real quick? Because
Bucks,
that was,
okay. All right. Yeah. Bill, what's yours?
Okay, I got big weekend coming in Bucks County this weekend. Anyway, do you remember the 21st night of September? Earth, Wind, and Fire, September.
All right.
Said a bunch today, Dom. That's a big answer. Yeah.
All right. Henry, do you have a clear winner or one or two here?
Yeah, I mean, I really liked Earl's Call there at the Boys of Summer, selling that.
Okay.
And then, you know what? Following him up was Bruce in the Northeast. I didn't know that song, but he sold me with that little jingle right there, so I'll put him in, too.
Dan, how about yours?
I'm always favored when we have a caller who sings a song for us or does something a little extraneous there, and Bruce did a great job singing a parody there, a quick one of Frank Sinatra. So I'm going to go with Frank myself as well, and Bruce.
All right, let's go with Bruce. Put his name into the hat. Rich Cioli's next for 4 big hours on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.